unmute. All right, what's up, everybody? We are live here, session 11 of Storm King's Thunder. This episode is actually titled The Rising Storm. And we will start the session on the 30-foot walls of Bryn Sanders. And on this wall is actually a familiar face, Ogric, which is the female dwarf that the party met on the entrance, and she's going about her duty on top of the walls on the battlements, and she's walking around kind of checking on all these guards. Every about 100 feet or so, there's this big kind of watchtower, and she's basically making a job of it, going to watchtower to see that everyone's doing their job. And as she comes to one watchtower, looking out into this massive mountain that Bryn Sanders finds itself on, looking out into the frigid, snowy north that you guys are in, horn kind of blows, and she looks up expectantly. And what this horn signifies is that a storm is coming. Up, and the guards look up, and you see just this absolute whiteout wall that is quickly making its way towards the city. And she looks over to the guard and just says to him, like, "Oh, this one looks like it's going to be a doozy. We should probably warn the villagers. It's kind of strange that we're getting a storm this bad so early in the year. Normally these kind of winter storms don't come until another month or so. Get ready. This is going to be a bad one." And then as soon as she finished saying that, the wall just moves at like a speed that is kind of, to you guys, would be shocking if you're there. And suddenly the 30-foot wall is overtaken by this absolute blizzard, almost like a hurricane of snow, and it just hits the town. Moment in the House of Triad, where Warren and Octavius are currently talking to a young priest named Cyric. And I believe they just figured out that Cyric is the son of Artis. And as they're about to question longer, suddenly the door burst open. And as you guys look behind you, you are met by a wall of snow, and there's this howling wind. And a short man kind of comes in. He's completely cloaked, and his entire body is now covered in snow. He comes in and he brushes himself off. And he comes and approaches Artis, and he kind of gives a shiver. And Cyric, there's a real bad storm that's just blown in. We're going to get a lot of refugees and homeless here tonight, so we're going to have to prepare. Get the main chapel ready, get the blankets out, and get the pillows. And then as Artis is kind of looking at, Cyric is looking at you, Octavius and Warren, who I imagine have quite a bit of questions. Looks, and I apologize, gentlemen, but my duty calls. Do you understand? Perhaps you can come back tomorrow, and maybe I'll have time to finish the petticoats for you. And if you want to ask more questions, then I'd be obliged to help. And that's to Warren and Octavius.
I do understand.
You'll have more important things to do.
Yes, it's going to be a busy night for sure. There's a lot of people that live out in the streets, and with the storm this bad, a lot of them don't have anywhere to go. So, yes, I thank you. Come back tomorrow, and maybe I'll have time to finish. And Octavius, was it? He kind of looks to you,
yes,
expectedly. Did you not say that you were a cleric of Ilmater?
I am, and I believe that we should be able to help you in some way.
Maybe you wouldn't mind coming back in the morning, or even staying tonight and helping?
I'll stay tonight. I'd love to be able to help. Warren, Livy, and Sunlit, if they're all, or sorry, not Livy, she's not in range, but
Sunny is also sleeping at the bar.
All right, fair. So I'd like to Warren and say, Warren, I believe we need to. I believe we need to stay and help these people. It's going to be a bad one, and I have an idea that this might not just be a regular storm.
I want me to stay here and help these people.
Can you think of a safer place in all of town?
Well, I guess not. He'll grudgingly nod.
All right, so you two are going to stay?
Yeah.
All right. So from there, we'll kind of fade out, and Livy, you find yourself in this alleyway that now that you're actually like looking up and paying attention, and you have your groceries in your arms, some wonderful pancake mix, probably quite a bit to last a while, and who knows what else she bought. And you look up, and there's the two men in front of you who are kind of obviously right away looking sketchy, and I believe like we ended it with them walking towards you, and you were just asking for like directions or something to Kelvin's comfort, I believe, and they kind of smiled and gave you this creepy look and pulled out some daggers and said that they would be more than happy to give you some directions. And they are approaching, and it's at that point that you reach down and realize that your rapier is missing. So then you kind of look behind you, and you see that a couple more of these hooded figures have cut off your back way too. So you're in this 15-foot alleyway with the buildings between you at least being 25 feet high. It's a rather narrow, less than 10 feet in width, probably around like 8. And there's 6 men in total, or 6 figures in total, I guess I should say, quickly approaching you, most of them with their weapons drawn. It's at this point that I will get you to roll initiative.
Yay! Let's go to the main and initiative. Whoa. Oh yeah, 15.
15 is up. All right, I already pre-rolled everyone's initiative, so I'm just going to show them on the tracker.
Battle tracker. No.
So the first one to act is one of the ones behind you, and he charges up and yells out that, "Don't worry, boss, I'll get her, and then we can question her." He laughs, and he'll come up and charge you, and he doesn't have his weapon drawn. He's actually going to try to tackle you and grapple you right away. So that's going to be either a strength or dex contest.
Dex, because she has no strength.
And you only got to beat a 6, luckily.
Oh, cool.
So you hear him coming, and you quickly kind of step out of the way quickly.
As she steps out of the way, she just like, if it's questions you have, I'll gladly answer them.
To which point the next one kind of comes up, and at this point you are met with a howling wind, and basically on both sides, the exit and the in front of you, you just see this wall of snow quickly come, and then above you this massive snowdrift kind of comes down and kind of topples on top of you, almost like a mini avalanche. It doesn't really like mess anything up or anything like that, but it's just like this sudden collapse of snow on top of you. And it's at that point that the other one comes up, and he too is going to try to grab you.
Just straight dex, or can I do acrobatics?
Yeah, you can do acrobatics.
Awesome.
You only got to beat a 2, as these guys apparently are the worst.
Or Olivia's just the best.
Yeah, she's dodging, and you say that you'll answer any questions that they ask, and then the kind of leader
just, like, of dance, just like lazily, like they're coming.
And then the leader kind of figure of this, his name's Vanger. He's like, "You idiots! It's just a young girl.
I'll make pancakes.
Quickly grab her before she makes a scene." And then he's just gonna come up and straight up attack you, and he gets to swing a total of 3 times actually.
I like dex saves better.
Yeah. And he rolled a 19, a 16, and an 11. I believe 2 might hit.
Yeah, 19 to 16.
All right, so that's both his scimitars, and they come up, and he slashes across you twice, and he's just like, "Maybe this will slow you down." To which now you are up.
Awesome. And I have a feeling I looked at a spell and realized I didn't actually look at it. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, no. Dum-dum-dum. Yeah, Livy, kind of right there, just now kind of shocked, like, okay, whoa. I'm not even being violent or anything. Just like these thoughts going through her head as she's just like, who are these people and why are they targeting me? This is not cool. And she will cast shield on herself.
So shield is actually a reaction. So
is it?
Yeah.
There's it. There it is. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a reaction into an attack. So basically, if I attack you and I'm gonna hit, you can say I cast shield and it boosts your AC up by 5.
All right. She'll definitely remember that for next time. She then, I guess, would prepare to dodge or take the dodge action.
Okay. All right. So 3 men have now approached you, and obviously being rather rough, another one comes up and he like yells out, "Don't worry, boss, I'll grab her." And again, he's going to try to grapple you. Maybe I'll roll higher than a 10.
Maybe.
A 13. You rolled a natural 20. So yeah, it's Livy versus 5 people at this point, and somehow, even though these 5 men, I imagine, are all probably like taller than you, much bulkier, but just your speed and finesse, you're quickly dodging by them. But now you're basically like surrounded. To which point another one will approach, and he kind of looks and he's like, "Oh, she's a cute one, boss." And he's going to reach in and kind of swipe at you with his scimitar.
Ew.
And misses.
Okay, cool.
How about we give her a good scare? I'm rolling absolutely horrid.
I'm okay.
And last but not least, the last one is going to try to swipe at you too, since no one is able to hit you. At which point I rolled a 12, which I'm pretty sure is a miss.
Yep.
So back to the top of the initiative now. These 6 men are being made quickly fools of, and this is making them more and more mad as they don't seem to be are not seeming to be like overcoming you. You're basically just showing them up. To which point the 2 guys are going to kind of consecutively help each other to try to grab you at this point, giving them advantage. And we'll see if I can roll higher than anything. So you got to be a 17 now. Can you do? So at this point, the captain's up, and he's like, "All right, I've had enough of this." He holds the scimitar up to you, and at this point, there's really not much for you to go in ways because they're just completely like have you surrounded. Answer me some questions.
Shield. She needs to.
He looks at you and holds the scimitar to your face and says, "I have questions for you. You better answer, and you better answer them quick, or I'll get my boys here to go a lot rougher. And trust me, they're itching to go a lot rougher." And he smiles at you.
You could have done this from the start, and it would saved you some blood on your sword.
Well,
what are your questions?
The boys get bored, so you see, I got to keep them entertained. But
it's entertainment you're looking for. I'd be happy to oblige. I know many wonderful stories.
When you came into town, girl, did you come into town with a cleric?
I believe so.
What's his name?
Tavios.
Do you know where he's from?
I haven't a clue. He's a friendly guy, though. He's very selfless, too, and, yeah. Just met him on the road. In town, yonder.
He looks at you. You sure you don't know where he's from?
Oh. Are we from anywhere, really? Like, he's been traveling.
Don't be smart with me.
Well, it's the truth. If you travel around, you're not really from anywhere. You're from a lot of places. And he's a traveler, for all I know. I don't know where he was born. We haven't gotten to that.
Well, someone's paying good money to find out about this cleric.
Well, if they're paying good money, why don't they just pay him? And I'm sure he'll be happy to tell you the truth.
I think we're just going to take you and see if he comes looking. How's that sound? Now you can go the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Quick, Mary, think. I want to say with all her great dex saves and whatnot that she at this point would be like, "Oh, I'd go with you, but he just went right that way around the corner." Like in the hopes that, like, can I just see if I'm gonna run?
So you're trying to like distract him or something?
Totally.
All right. So you're versus 6 of them for your. You can do a deception if you want.
Well, here goes nothing for Livy. I would hope that her being cute would just be the icing on the cake, but 14.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I have inspiration though. I am totally going to use it in the hopes for something higher.
All right.
Grab the right dice. Higher. Nope.
So you actually tricked most of them, and they all kind of like, huh?
Can I do a dex save now in the sense of like trying to maneuver around them and get away?
But the captain and at least one other is not buying it, so it's up to you. You can try to bolt away. You can definitely take the disengage anyways on your turn, but the boss himself, Vanguard, has readied an action, so it's up to you. But yeah, at this point, you can definitely disengage and start to book it.
Yep. See ya. It was nice. I knew I should have studied some rogue.
All right, so he's going to swing at you with his ready action for sure. But you, what does it look like when you just kind of like burst out from these 6 dudes?
She would be like, but I think I just saw Octavius go that way. And as soon as like the 3 and like I'd say maybe just that moment that
of course I rolled
turn his head, she just books off the opposite direction down the other way, trying to push through the 2, and probably even just I don't know if she saw an arm raising, she would put shield up.
And as you run away, of course, I roll a crit, so he's gonna hit you with that for 10 damage.
Fudge.
And then, what did I hit you for before? Actually, I should be adding this to your thing. I keep forgetting.
Like 10 plus what? Like yeah, she has.
I'm going back up. 10 plus 9.
Oh, so now down to 20.
Yeah.
She was hit twice.
Yep. All right. No, not 20, 19. And then you book it. And as you're running out, you could easily make it into the streets. But as you do so, you kind of come out so quickly, and the storm is so thick at this point that you just hit with this big gust of wind, and then you
let it me away. She'll run with the wind.
Yeah, and you smash into something as you come out and kind of topple over, not seeing it. It's like waist high. To which point you see a figure kind of sitting in the snow. She picks herself up and oh, sorry there, dearie. I didn't see you.
I didn't see you either. It's okay. I just not some.
And you look and see the face of Augric Brighthelm, which is the kind of the deputy, and she's like, "Sorry, I'm in quite a hurry. The storm's quite bad. I need to get to Devesa."
Okay, can I assist you? Can I escort you, please?
To which you hear the men shouting, like, "Hey, get back here!"
Can I escort you, please? Yeah, she just.
And then she looks over as they kind of come out and just like, "Friend of yours?"
No, I don't. No, not my type. Nope. A little too hands-on, and they're actually trying to, kidnap me. But I'm gonna go, and she'll just kind of start skipping along, just. And it's really cold out here. You gotta keep the blood pumping. Gotta keep warm.
Yeah, and she says, "Say no more. I can help you." And she pulls out a weapon and kind of readies. "I think we can take care of them. Do you have anything to defend yourself with, girl?"
Yes, and she once more do like that instinctive reach and go, "No, I don't." And Leslie can have her remember that she kind of did a certain awesome thing at level 3.
Does she remember at this point?
I want to flavor how I did in the chat where it's just like where she goes reaching and goes, "Where's my weapon?" And it just like kind of that energy and that frustration, that need, it just pops in and he's like, yeah, like right here.
Yeah, and you flash back to probably a lesson in the School of Magic that you're in, and it's what is that, like enchanting magic, I imagine.
Sure.
Yeah, and basically your professor at this point is talking to you about weapon bonds and how you can enchant a weapon to basically always be within your possession. You can call it from as long as it's in the same plane as you into existence into your current possession, even if it is stolen from you. And it's at that moment that you remember that, and it's just like, oh yeah, how do I do that again? And then I imagine you flick.
Yep.
And then the rapier is suddenly in your hand.
Oh, she'll give it just a little squeeze to her and just like, take that, thief.
To which point we will jump on over to Sunny, who called it early last night. But what's kind of going on over in Kelvin Comfort as she's like sleeping there? You're laying in the bed and you feel kind of dizzy. I think was what we last left off on. But then as you're kind of sitting there, one thing that you always remember from drinking so much is that you're always able to like fall asleep really easily. Like that's normally your go-to is you drink, and then when it's bedtime, you just pass right out. But as you're laying in bed, you realize that you're not sleepy, and you're just kind of laying there, and you think to yourself that this is kind of peculiar. Like, I've never really experienced this before. And then you realize that the bed's not even spinning, and it kind of all kind of hits you at once. What's Sunny thinking as she's in Kelvin Comfort and realizing this?
Well, I think she would be confused, but not surprised, because the biggest proponent of all of this was her good buddy Warrendale. And the past events in the last 24 hours even, she doesn't know how to handle that person any longer. So she sits up and she just thinks to herself, this is just another thing right up his alley. What is wrong with this man? Why is he like this? There's nothing but nobody in this makeshift party of ours has been anything but sweet to this man. And he just finds every reason to just be rotten to us. She stands up, and again, still no drunken vertigo feeling, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you'd. I imagine at this point, like it's been a couple hours, and with you just like laying in bed and tossing and turning, I imagine at this point the placebo is kind of completely worn off.
Yeah. I mean what am I thinking of? When you take like a sugar pill and everybody else in the room is taking a real medicine, and then you feel the same thing. What is that called? Can't think of what that's.
I think it's just placebo. Isn't that the word?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when the placebo effect basically is what she had, has worn off. She does. She rises up quickly. Puts her cloak back on.
Shakes her fist to the air. That dastardly Warrendale.
Yeah, exactly. And she's even more frustrated than she was before. You know what I mean? Like, and just questions herself at this point of how can she even go further with this person? He's not a respectful a respectable person, and she came here to learn more. She came to this land to further her studies, and she's done none of that.
Mm-hmm.
All she learned how to do is drink, and it's not. She's starting to have some introspective thought about that. But all the while, all it does is make her want to drink more.
Now, does she
So-
stay in her room or does she go downstairs?
Oh no, she's gonna get up and go downstairs.
To which the bar, now that a couple hours have gone by, it's getting rather later in the evening, and a lot of the patrons have actually kind of cleared out, but still standing there or still sitting there is Sir Barrick, and you kind of have a memory of you just being like highly what you thought intoxicated and talking to him, and him not really being that interested in what you
Right.
guys had to say, and he's just kind of sitting there, and as you walk in, he kind of cocks an eye at you, and then, I didn't think I'd see you up again. Normally someone in your state sleeps for at least a day.
Yeah. About
Not
that.
here to drink more, are you?
I don't think I drank to begin with, my friend.
Well, you could have
And
fooled
she
me.
sounds very solemn. Yeah, I think they did. They fooled me as well.
Well, your friends said that they had business at the House of Triad. Although I warn you, a
What
real
business
bad
is that?
storm's blowing in. And he kind of shifts his head to the window, and you just hear this, the glass windows kind of like vibrating with the wind pounding against it. And you can't see out. It's just icy frost and white.
Yeah, it's like all 4 or 5 of us have been around snow. So it's like, is it like when the snow's been hitting your window for a while and it's like just kind of covered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
Like,
imagine just like completely. I imagine at this point, snow would even start to be like building up and covering the window. I don't know how bad snow you guys get, but
oh, we get snow. We get serious snow around here. Actually, Rochester's one of the 30. Is about the 3rd snowiest place in the United States.
nice.
So,
Yeah, you know it. Like the snow is starting to form this drift that's even like piling up against the window. If you were to try to open up the door, you'd have like the weight of snow actually building up against the door. You're probably strong enough to shove it open if you wanted to, but the wind itself and then the blizzard, it would be annoying. And if you do open the door, you'd be just frozen to your core as soon as you open it. It's the kind of cold that just cuts through your body and hits you right to the bone.
right, and her from being a tropical climate, Sir Barrick,
Yes.
pardon my naive nature, but as you can tell, I'm not from here. Have you ever met a Tabaxi Barrick?
Can't say I have, although I've heard of you. Your kind, that is.
Well, thank
Normally,
you.
Across the Sea of Swords. I imagine this weather is quite frightful for you.
Yes, that's actually what I was a bit going to talk about. It's very normal for the snow to be that cold.
Yes, the snow is known to be cold, but a storm like this, not necessarily normal. We only get these maybe a couple times a year, and it's normally much later in winter, which is when the snow is worse.
Okay, well that's kind of like the rainy season that we'll have in Mazteca. Once in a while it comes early. Usually it's later in the summer. Is this worrisome for us?
It's just a storm. It'll blow through. Day or so.
Might that seems to be all that snow gathering. Does that make it hard to travel after it's gathered so deeply?
Suppose it probably would. He looks at you kind of curiously.
I'm very sorry, like I said, for my naive nature. It's a lot of things are different here. Thank you for the information, sir.
I recommend that you just call it a night. I'm sure your friends will be back soon. Wouldn't
I
want to
think I'm
go
gonna
out
have
and
a real drink this time.
What's
And
that?
Well, I believe my friends and that woman they were traveling, they had met, played a trick on me, and fed me water, and called it some local strong drink. And with the power of suggestion, I believe that I felt as if I was intoxicated when I was not.
He looks at you. Well, if that's what you like when you're intoxicated, girl, I think that might have done you a favor.
I don't believe I'm usually like that, sir. I think I've actually, along the way of learning about this alcohol, I found that it actually helps me in battle a bit.
That's what you need to tell yourself. And then he kind of finishes off his soup. And he's like, well, it's getting late. I admit that this conversation was a little more tolerable than your last state, but I have stuff to do in the morning, so
You're leaving the tavern,
I got a room upstairs.
as do I. Well, it was certainly a pleasure meeting you in a much more civilized manner, sir.
He nods. Good night to you. And kind of walks upstairs by you. You hear the jingling of his kind of chain armor.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're kind of left in this bar, mostly alone. There's a couple of other figures hunched over their tables, slowly sipping away at their mugs and kind of swaying. Blankets kind of tossed over them for warmth. Even in this this closed-in room, you can just feel the cool draft kind of blowing underneath the door and the windows, and occasionally a gust of snow gets blown in. It's even chilly in this room itself.
Yeah. She walks up to the bar.
And as she does that, we will jump over to Warren and Octavius. And it's at this point that the storm has kind of been blowing in, and Cyric and Delavon, he introduced himself as a human priest of Torm, the god of courage. You guys have been setting up blankets and pillows and kind of lighting fires in areas where the church has like these kind of like little fire plates for warmth, and Cyric is kind of just showing you guys along and getting you to help where you can. What exactly would you guys be doing, if anything, while in here?
Octavius would look to Warren, and he would say, Warren, I've read that if you go to people and you get them to sing songs together, that they'll feel better. Maybe you should go and do that. I'll go over here and try this.
Warren just stares at you with a blank stare, like he has absolutely no freaking clue what you're talking about.
Oh, a song would be quite nice right now. You sing, Warren, though.
No, I do not sing.
Are you sure? I'm sure.
Let me just set the beds up. You sing in your heads or something.
Cyric starts to hum himself like a little hymn from the god of cheer.
No. In your head. I don't want to hear it.
Sorry, sir. Didn't mean to be a bother. Anyways, you, Octavius, how long have you served Eelmatter for?
Ever since I can remember, sir. Or son, I suppose. It's been almost 30 years now.
Wow, that's quite a long time. They say that priests and clerics of Eelmatter endure a lot. Don't you guys go out on like pilgrimages when you hit a certain age, and you have to go out into the world and just basically like take on other people's pains and stuff?
Yeah, we. It was weird. I was sent out more often than all the others. To go and endure, to endure the pain of our fellow men, so that they would be able to, and women, so that they would be able to feel better and hopefully be able to take on the next day. My priests seemed to, every time I'd get back, they'd just send me out again right away. It was weird. I went on like 64 pilgrimages for like 3 years. It was I got back, I just like to read. You know, I had done enough walking.
No, you sound quite tough. I don't know if I
Oh,
could endure
I
that.
wish.
To which he says, "Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I guess I'm no like expert in ill matter. I myself prefer the god of justice, but should you not have like a holy symbol on you around your neck?" And he pulls out his. Isn't it kind of strange that a cleric wouldn't have a symbol of his deity? Unless you hold yours also?
No, and he would just kind of the direction of Warren, and he would say, I've temporarily misplaced it. Error against me, and probably, I believe Ilmater is trying to test my loyalties, and he's just really screwing with me on this one. I need to find something, you know. But for now, I just don't have it with me.
Oh, well, there's many priests here of ill matter. I'm sure we have a spare one. I can get Delvon to grab you one until you find yours. I wouldn't want you to not be able to contact your god or pray. To which
I would love that. This is obviously a sign that I am prepared to have another symbol from Ilmater. So yes, I would love one. Thank you.
And Sierra
When I'm helping all these people, I'm sure I'll talk to the priests.
Well, he says, "Here, you guys just keep going, and I'll be right back." And then he runs away and like leaves you guys with like a stack high of blankets and pillows, and there's probably like 50 of them still that you guys have to lay out. To which Delvon kind of comes up to you guys and is like, "I don't mean to be pressing, but any moment now we're gonna have people kind of walking in here, so maybe if we can just hurry up. I know I don't want to sound rude. I do appreciate your help, but let's just start laying out more of these, if you don't mind, gentlemen."
Come on, Warren. Let's get moving.
Hey, man. Warren will put his back into it a little, work a little bit harder.
And as you guys kind of work like laying out these beds and preparing fires and pillows and whatnot, people do start to come in, and a lot of what you see is people that don't have maybe the best of means. They have disheveled clothes, rips cloaks, and they're absolutely frozen when they come in. A lot of them even in kind of a critical state. But you guys kind of work your way through. A couple more of like the underling priest care to the ones that are injured. And as you're working, Delvon, or shortly after, Sirik comes back and starts to help you guys again, to which point he kind of asks, "So is it just like you two? Clearly you're not from around here. Is it just you guys that kind of go off on adventures together? Is that what you guys are?"
Well, you're not wrong. We have a furry friend, but she's not here right now.
A furry friend, like a dog?
Kind of.
Sounding worse and worse.
More like a large.
No, we are just. We are
please.
with another.
Sweet, go ahead.
You're with another.
And she's just. Yeah.
Well, where are they? Hopefully they're not caught out in the storm.
We left her safe and comfortable in her bed.
And Livy, she was getting groceries. Hopefully she's okay. She'll be fine.
And Octavia just kind of be like, "Oh, I forgot, Livy. Where's Livy?"
To which he kind of looks at you and, "You forgot about one of your friends. That's very well. You guys have been quite a bit of help. I suppose that if one of you need to, or even both, need to go check on your friends, we would understand. Octavius, if you'd like to come back in the morning, I could definitely use your help with the sermons in the morning. a lot of our Ilmater priests are off on pilgrimages like you spoke of, so we don't really have anyone to speak on behalf of Ilmater. If you do want to check on your friend, though, I completely understand. But maybe come back in the morning?
You got clothes for us? Something warm? We can't go out there and wander around without, our skivvies as we're southern folk.
The Yeti coats.
Like this.
The Yeti coats aren't quite done yet, but there are these.
Hi, young man. Don't speak and good chat.
And he said, "Oh, sorry." And he kind of doesn't really know what to do. He's standing there like, "I need to set up," but Warren's yelling at me and he's intimidating.
Go out there without the Yeti coats. Jeez.
We
get these people young. We get them all set up.
He offers you some heavy blankets though for temporary if you do want to go out in the cold.
Octavius would thank him greatly and throw warns at him.
All right. And do you go ahead?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Should we go get Livy? I don't know where we're going, but
you remember when Livy left, you remember that you guys were going to reconvene at Kelvin's Comfort around dinner time. It's at least 2 hours past dinner time at this point. So you're imagining that she's back there by now, and maybe Sunny's up, or maybe she's not, and maybe they're having a late supper together or something, is what you would imagine. But you also haven't seen each other in a while, so maybe it's up to you guys. You can stay here and help. They're mostly like set up at this point, or you can go back to Calvin Comfort. You cut out on me there, Dan.
Storm pretty bad.
The storm definitely isn't good by any means. It's still howling pretty bad, and if you were to look out, the sun is quickly starting to go down, so it's kind of at that point now where there's just a little bit of sunlight left, and the storm has almost made it like dark at this point. The church itself to Calvin's Comfort, though, is literally only a block away, so like maybe a 10-minute walk at most.
Yeah, Octavius would look at Warren and just, it's up to you.
I don't want to go out there, to be quite honest. Get warm people here, and I kind of like helping these people.
Well, I guess if you start singing, we can stick around.
Oh, Jesus, I'm not singing. Don't know any songs. Not songs you'd want to hear. Not safe for work songs, if you get to my drift.
Oh, geez, Warren. And at that point, Octavius stopped pressing the singing. And he'd be like, yeah, these people do need help. I'm sure Livy and Sunlit will be fine. We should offer these people as much help as we can give them.
Something like that.
He would throw down the blanket. But he would actually wrap the first person. He would just start, coddling and doing whatever he possibly could to help people.
All right, absolutely. At this point, we go back over to Livy, who is now out in the streets, and the snow is knee-high. But we have fast-forwarded a bit, and there is 5 male figures heaped kind of over themselves in the snow as Ogric and Livy are breathing like maybe a little bit heavily, but not even really that winded. And she kind of, this short dwarven woman looks up to you with a smile and says, "Now they weren't so bad, were they, dearie?"
Oh, absolutely not. I should have remembered that I couldn't summon my sword. I'd had them down earlier, but thank you. That was
quite a handy technique you have there. I didn't realize that you studied in magic.
Just a little bit. I'm primarily a fencer, but my grandpa always told me that having a little bit of magic is never a bad idea. It's an element of surprise, really.
To which you feel something grab onto your leg.
She'll look down.
You look down and you see the face of Vanguard, the bandit leader, and he grabs you and kind of lifts himself up, and his face is all covered in kind of snow at this point, and he looks at you and says, You gotta come with me. They won't be happy if we don't come back with the answers. You don't understand. These people are fucked up.
Well, that may be so, but your method of trying to get me to come nicely just wasn't working. All you had to do was ask. Goodness. Here, tell me who it is that's seeking, and I'll go fetch Octavius myself. Or Tavius. I'll go fetch him.
I can't tell you they did something to me.
Then, if you promise not to hurt me or anything, you're welcome to walk with me. I may even make you pancakes still.
He looks around nervously as he picks himself up. And then he comes up to you again, and this time his weapon is nowhere to be found. He dropped it in the snow as you guys fought. But he grabs you by both arms, and he's rough about it. And he says, "You don't understand." And he gets right up in your face, and you see these snot icicles that have kind of formed on him. And there's like a bloody kind of mess from where Ogric bopped him really good. "You gotta tell me. Tell me where this frickin' cleric's from. Please. Before they do something."
If I could, I would. But I don't. I'm sorry. Simple as that.
To which point, you see him grab onto his neck, and it's like he starts to choke. He falls down to his knees, and he's just like looking at you. He grabs onto your coat and starts to pull it.
Wait, and if I tell you, this will stop? And she's just getting a little worried now.
At this point, blood starts to kind of pool out of his mouth, and he's just like looking at you, like panics.
She's gonna say Nightstone. That's where he's from. She doesn't know where he's from, but she's just gonna say Nightstone because that's where she met him. He's from Nightstone. Nightstone. Okay. Holy crackers! Is he
Drops to the ground into the snow. Ogret's like, what in the hell is going on here?
I have no idea. Like I could do a knowledge lore check, but
give me a perception check.
Perception, sure thing. Perception that we are not trained in. A 15.
You see where he was grabbing his neck like he was being choked. For some reason, your eyes just kind of drawn there. And as he kind of flops over onto the snow and his eyes just wide open with pure terror, you see that there's like strange marks around his neck.
Okay.
If you were to inspect them a little closer,
She will.
They would be like big kind of circular welts, 2 by 2, all around his neck, like perfect circles and almost like equally spaced out all around his neck.
So 2 by 2.
To which Augur kind of notices that you're noticing, just like, paper. Perhaps he's diseased. Step back from him. That's disgusting.
I'd like to think that she would be able to tell whether it was a disease versus a mark. Yeah,
and you, with your perception, can tell that it's not. It looks like something was pushed really hard against his neck or something. But like the design is really
like Vader kind of.
Yeah. Only the design is kind of weird because like there's these circles 2 by 2 and they're kind of like equally spaced out all around his neck.
How many of these circles that are 2 by 2 spaced?
Completely around his neck. So I imagine it would be at least like
a dozen.
Yeah, a dozen is what I was gonna say.
All right. Then I guess with that too, since she's not gonna be able to fix it, and
yeah, he looks pretty dang dead. The other ones are kind of unconscious in the snow.
Just straight up history. Kind of like in the lore stuff. Like, is there anything that she may have come across in tales or her studies?
Yeah, even with a 19. So that's, to me, you're digging pretty deep.
If what's her name? The dwarf friend. If she has paper on her, Livy would make like a sketch real quick.
Yeah, she would hand you some paper, to which she says that she'll bring these guys into Markham's Sheriff Markham's jail, and we'll question them for later. And she's just kind of like looking around nervously, like, what in the world? I've never seen anything like this. I know that there's bandits and mercenaries that come through here a lot, but what's this cleric they're talking about? Why?
I travel with a cleric named Tavius, and they just want to know where he's from, and I don't know where he's from. We just haven't gotten to that point in our relationship, and it's just like he's traveled around, and I'm gonna go I need to get my groceries real quick, and I gotta go.
Give me a con save.
Watch, she's gonna be like perfectly fine. I'm like just making her sound cold. Con with the nose. 18.
Yeah, you're definitely not warm by any means, but you're not entering hypothermia territory by somehow, because I imagine you're like literally in
like running a little bit too, and
yeah.
so
yeah, but she sees that you're cold, and she's like, well, I'll get some of the guards and we'll take these men into prison. Perhaps you go warm up and come back in the morning and we can figure out more about this.
Yeah, at the prison. Otherwise, I'll be I'm staying at the insert in name, and she'll then zip off around the corner, unbury her groceries, hoist them up, and try and hurry through the snow as fast as her leg will let her.
And you barge into the sorry, Calvin's Comfort. I even blanked out there. And as soon as you do barge in, like you kind of kick open the door, and it's like that moment of like you always see in movies where as you do, you push open and you're just completely covered in snow, and the snow just kind of blows past you and sweeps into the bar, to which you see Sunlit standing there kind of approaching the bar. As you're doing so, though, we kind of go over to a scene where Ogric is currently calling some guards over, and she's dragging off these men, these bandits that attacked you and tried to question you for some reason. And standing on top of a building 30 feet above is this mysterious black-robed figure that's kind of just watching it all go down. And as he does watch the bandits get dragged away, he or she turns his back and walks off the roof out of scene, to which now, Sunlit, you hear the wind howl, and as you look behind you, you see an icicled version of Livy kind of standing there with groceries in hand. The groceries are covered in snow. She's covered in snow. She's trying her best not to shiver, but you can just hear her teeth chattering as we're just about to ask the bartender for a drink.
Olivia?
Livingston, hi. I got the groceries. It got really snowy really fast.
Come inside.
Yeah, well, I am. Setting down groceries, and she will walk over to wherever the fire is and just kind of hang out there and just, that sounds really good.
You feel the ice kind of melting off you as you sit by the fire.
Oh, I tell you, I had quite the adventure, to say the least, and the snow being just the start of it. Whew.
Really?
How are you doing? Where are the others?
I've had better days, Olivia.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know where they went.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, hopefully they're not on that snow. Or goodness, it was up to my waist.
I kind of hope that the snow bears Warren.
The what?
The snow. You know, all that white stuff that's outside.
Uh-huh.
I hope that Warren falls in it and doesn't get up.
Oh. All right,
I don't trust him, Olivia.
You don't what?
I don't trust him anymore.
What? Well, if it was him who had my sword or stole
It was him, Olivia. It's not if. It was.
Oh, she'll just like kind of pat her waist, like, well, I have my sword back, and I like maybe he had it, maybe he didn't, but
No, he didn't take it personally. He admitted to us that he let some woman that works for somebody that he owes money to take our things, Olivia. He admitted it to it. He's a rotten human being.
The bartender, Olga, just kind of sitting there, like awkwardly looking at you two.
And not that fake alcohol that you gave me earlier.
He looks and says, I apologize, but we're currently drank out. They finished off all of the brandy.
There's no ale. There's no wine.
He looks at you. We're clean out of that too.
Can Livy do an insight check?
Yes.
Just to see if she catches on, if it is just him lying.
Yes. Yeah, he's definitely lying. You don't know why, but because you weren't there, but he's definitely lying.
Okay. She's just kind of like, narrow eyes, and it's like, and just kind of leave it at that, where it's like she, even saying like, I thought I saw. I guess your business is your business. Because there is part of her that's like, maybe Sunny shouldn't drink too much, but at the same time, that's her choice, and I don't want to get the bartender in trouble either. So it's just like, something interesting while I was out in the snow. I ran into a bunch of these men who are interested in finding Tavios. Do you know where he's from?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Yeah, me neither. And unfortunate too, because
You know where I'm from, Olivia.
I think you said you're from the islands.
Because I don't know where you're from either.
Oh, I'm from insert city.
And that's the problem with this. None of us know anything about each other. We're just four strangers that are traveling together at this point.
Well, I would like to think that we know general. Because we've been traveling together for about a month, right? In the castle.
I imagine you guys would have talked.
And so, and Livy basing where Octavius from, I just imagine that we may not have gotten to the nitty gritty, at least most of us, because it sounds like you guys were adventurers before coming to Livy, and so talked about places they've been. And so, whereas
I might be speaking for Dan anyways. You can chime in, Dan, if I'm wrong, but Dan or Octavius might not have even said where he is from.
Yeah. And
No.
so, but I'm pretty sure Livy would have said something. I know that I've definitely heard you in character for Sunlit saying where she's from. And so Livy would definitely know where Sunlit's from. But I want to say that probably Warren and Octavius, that it's just been we've been to these places. And here's our story. Here's where we've been. Here's where we've traveled. This is where we've what we've learned. And so she may not know. I've heard a lot of places. I don't know which one he's from.
Right.
And Livy's from Riverdeep. So, ta-da! She would have totally mentioned something along those lines at some point. But anyways, it's poor guys, though. Apparently someone wants to know where Tavios is from. Don't know why, but the person killed the messengers, which is kind of I know there's a saying, don't shoot the messenger. I didn't do the shooting, but the other person did because their messenger wasn't able to get, I guess, an answer out of me, which was unfortunate. I tried to lie, but I'm just not really good at that.
Livy, as you are explaining this and you kind of have Sunny's attention, you notice that kind of behind your peripheral, Olgan, the bartender, is hurriedly grabbing bottles of liquor and shoving them under the table. And
that's awesome because I was just about to have Livy then pull out the paper and be like, but so like I said, the messengers, they were killed, and this is kind of what was on his neck. At least this is my interpretation of what you said. So they just formed all over, just these circular marks. Have you seen anything like that by chance?
No.
Well, he was choked and dead. In a way, I want to say it's maybe invisible chains showed up around his neck. But
that's fascinating. But she just doesn't really seem as jovial and and interested as she has been in the past.
Okay.
She's she's always been very curious, trying to figure out things about the three of you. But she's definitely out of it today. She's been shook to her core, and she doesn't know if she can trust all of you anymore. You know what I mean? So,
Fair enough.
Olivia,
Yes.
I love how carefree you are. I love it. I love that you make those beautiful pancakes.
Oh, I got more
them
ingredients
as
for this,
well.
by the way.
Good. You lost something that came from your family,
Mhm.
and you make it like it's not a big deal.
Well,
No, you make it like it's not a big deal. Is it a big deal or is it not?
it is a big deal.
Then
But-
why are you not angry with the person that we know made that happen? It's not like it's an opinion.
In a way,
You did it,
it's
Olivia.
Livy. Those, there's a thing in my family. All names that start with a vowel, they have died on a Saturday, and I would like to try and keep that fade away from me as far as possible. So that's why I go by Livy. But it does mean a lot. It's unnerving that he steals something from us, but I choose to believe that there's something just tells me that there is good inside him. I'm not sure where or how easily it'll come out, but
Nothing was stolen from him, Olivia. Nothing.
well,
And
Karma
I
has a
believe he may have paid that bartender to make it so that I couldn't drink this evening.
The bartender's like, "Who? Me? Oh, I want to stay out of this. I'm sorry. Last call."
Yeah. Bartender. Do I look like somebody that you may want to mess with?
He looks at you, and he kind of cocks his eye, to which you see a rather burly dwarf, and he, "Don't know where you're from, dear, but don't know how you think things are done from where you come from. But if you think that threatening me is going to get you anywhere,
I'm
then you'll
not
be sadly mistaken.
I'm not
Now, I
threatening
said last call, and I said
Well, I
I don't
haven't
have
had
any
a
alcohol.
because you and my friends played a trick on me, and I believe fed me water and told me that it was something different. Is that how you would treat your patrons? Somebody that's going to spend money in your bar?
I treat my
Is that how
patrons
you would
while
treat
they pay
them?
me gold. Now, watch your tongue, or you'll be thrown out in the streets."
and it's mighty cold out there. Sunlit. Yes, that may have been that was an awful trick for him to play, but do you hear yourself? You are fuming over a drink. There is a variety of other drinks that you can enjoy, and you don't exactly seem yourself when you are on alcohol. Like, you don't need it. No one needs it. It's a choice, and if you can't choose to have a little bit here and have a little bit there without this need, then maybe it's something you shouldn't have. Just saying. I think that right there kind of shows a little bit of Warren's concern for you.
Warren doesn't have a concern for any of us.
That's
Warren's
where I
about
think
Warren.
you're wrong. I don't like that he stole from us. And I'm sure that he will make it up somehow. But I would like to think that he had your best intentions, because you have an addiction. Just saying.
She doesn't even know what that word means. She doesn't. So, what?
Addiction. Something that You
To
don't.
which point the bartender's like, all right, you guys want to have an intervention, do it somewhere else. I'm closing down shop. Get the hell out of here. I've had enough with both of you.
He's just like, what did I do? But she's like, well, I guess we can take this to the room.
You paid for your room, go up there. But if I hear you make any racket or causing any noise, I swear to God, I'll pull you out by your tail and throw you on the streets. That's a warning. Try me again, and you'll see why they call me Firebeard. And then he kind of walks off.
Olivia grabs groceries and is like, it's been a long day. I'll go to rooms and if we're lucky, we can keep warm throughout the night. And she'll grab the groceries and go upstairs.
Does Sunny follow, or does she pursue the dwarf who is kind of like walking away now? And he's like locking up the shop. So basically pulling over these kind of grates to where you presume the empty alcohol, which probably isn't that empty, is at, now that you're kind of on to the whole charade. But he's locking it up, and he kind of gives you like a look back with like a frown, and locks it up, makes sure all the drawers and stuff are locked, and then he'll just kind of stand there tapping his toe, waiting for you guys to get out.
She turns and faces the fire, getting close enough to it to keep the warmth. And she begins to meditate as she would when she's, as she's been trained through her monk training. Peaceful and alone.
Perfect. I imagine then we kind of set into the night, to which Octavius
but after an hour or so, she makes her way up to the room and goes to bed for the evening.
Perfect. Yeah, and Octavius and Warren, you probably work a little longer than Warren would have appreciated. I imagine Octavius maybe not caring that much, but
I just keep
Warren complains the entire time.
to which
it's okay, Warren.
What's that? You cut out.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, come on, Warren, we gotta just do this one more thing. Yeah, I was just filling.
I don't understand why you do like helping all these people. I just wanted to stay here to stay warm, but very well.
I'm charged with helping the pain of these people.
Why would you do such a thing? Don't you? It's very selfless. Do you get joy out of helping people? Does it make you feel warm and fuzzy inside?
Well, yeah, kind of. There.
Well, we all have our addictions, I guess.
Octavius would just be busy at work.
Perfect. Then if you guys kind of work, you'd work for a couple more hours into the night, but eventually they would say that they're pretty set. And if you guys want to call it a night, you can sleep there, which you're basically just like sleeping on a bed, or not sleeping on a bench with a blanket. Definitely by no means a very comfortable sleep, but to get back to your actual beds means going out into the storm for about 10 minutes. So it's up to you guys if you want to sleep there or head back to Calvin's Comfort. It's nighttime at this point.
I say we stay here for the night. It's no sense in going out there, getting cold, disrupting the others.
Octavius would agree, as he's basically already half in bed. The uncomfortableness has no effect on him at all. He's used to himself for the sake of all matter. So,
absolutely. Give me a perception check, both of you, actually.
Perception.
See if either of you notice. You both noticed because you both rolled 22. You would notice that Belladora, the kind of street urchin that gave you some hints before, has now made her way into the temple. Only she kind of has her cloak pulled over her head, and she's kind of like sitting by the fire. But as you look over, you would see that she was looking at you. But once you guys look over at her, she kind of darts her head away. She's sitting about maybe 10 feet away or less from you guys.
It would just make Octavius smile as he fell asleep. Warren would be able to do it, so just look at her and smile, knowing that she's safe, and he'd be able to fall asleep.
And then if you guys were to look away, you would see that she kind of looks back, Warrendale, and then almost like she makes like kind of like a noise, like like clears her throat or something like that, like she's trying to be noticed but not be upfront about it.
Warrendale would get up, make his way over, take a seat, warm as hell.
Oh, I didn't notice you were there.
Holy shit! What do you want?
Working for the church, are we? She kind of smiles.
Yeah.
I didn't take you as the church boy.
Just staying warm.
Is that what you tell yourself? Are you getting warm from all the fuzzy feelings of helping all those people?
No, that's why I'm invited to the fire. But I'm quite tired, so please hurry up.
I didn't want anything. I'm just sitting here trying to keep warm myself.
Then why were you looking at me? I know I'm handsome.
I think you're kind of cute. She smiles. So did you talk to the Sirik boy?
Perhaps.
Find anything interesting about him?
Perhaps.
Very well then. I see that you like to play the mysterious, tall, dark, and handsome type. Doesn't suit you very well. I think deep down you might be one of those little goody two-shoe priest boys like your friend over there, but you can pretend.
He's a good lad.
So what was with your friend back there? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
How do you know about this young man, Cyrus? Why did you tell us to come here? You know a little bit of everybody's business.
You said you were looking for some stuff, some information, and I just happen to know that there's some peculiar people. I know that Sirik over here wasn't necessarily born here, and that he has some daddy issues. I thought, you being the dark and grumpy type, that you both probably had some daddy issues growing up. So I thought maybe you guys would maybe bond. You look like you need someone to open up to. And if you do, I'm here for you.
For sure you are.
Belladora is a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I know a lot of things. You see, staying warm in a city like this isn't necessarily the easiest. So you got to make a girl's got to make a living somehow, and some ways are easier than others. I find that knowing people's business often pays pretty well if you know the right stuff.
Very true.
So, again, your friend back there with the long hair and bushy tail and temper, you guys don't seem to get along that well. It's kind of strange that you're traveling together.
Yeah, acquaintances. She's a bit hot-headed. Don't quite understand the cultures of our world and the sacrifices that I put to myself through for her behalf. Perhaps someday. She's just naive, young. She'll learn in time. Cats have 9 lives. She's got plenty of time.
She smiles. So you're saying you don't really care? Because I find it strange that someone that doesn't care would stop her from drinking herself sick.
I just didn't want her to make a scene and embarrass me. Embarrass herself. And just getting herself thrown out. Then I'd have to wait on her like all these other bastards here. And it's just one more cat that I'd have to take care of.
She smiles at you
cats.
And says, there's one other thing that I'm really good at besides knowing people's businesses. And that's lying. And I can tell you that I'm a lot better liar than you are. But if that's what you need to tell yourself, that you don't care and that you're just worried about her making a scene, that's fine by me. It's none of my business, I guess.
Indeed.
And then, well, I'm sorry, didn't mean to disturb you. I was just kind of sitting here, and you decided to come over. I get it. You have a thing for me, but listen, let's keep this professional, okay?
Professional isn't coin.
Well, if you got some coin, then I'm all ears.
I'm sure you are. If I need anything, I will surely let you know.
Very well. Good night, Warrendale. She kind of smiles and goes to her own business.
You'll tip his imaginary hat and go to have a seat for the night.
All right, then you guys all sleep through the night, and those in the church are woken by loud church bells ringing at an ungodly morning time hour, probably less than 4 hours from when you were finally able to fall asleep on the awful cold rock hard benches that you slept on, and you just hear this loud kind of dinging, and it rings out to the church and kind of wakes everybody up, to which Delvon and Cyric are kind of waking everybody up with some warm breakfast soup and basically getting ready for a morning sermon full of prayers, to which Octavius, Cyric would come up to you and wake you and wish you a good morning.
He'd pop right off at the bells, and he'd be like super awake and super in the morning, because he knew that last night he spent the whole night helping people. Like, he got a great night's sleep. He's super happy.
The best
Or
3 hours.
hits him with his pillow. It's not time to get up. Lay down. It's early.
Oh, Warrendale, you got to wake up. It's time for sermons. We gotta pray. And there's 3 gods here, so we have triple the praying to do. Wake up, wake up.
I don't need sermons.
To which Cyric would kind of look at you, Octavius, and say ask if you'd be interested in leading the Il Matters prayer.
Sing them the songs of your God.
Absolutely.
Don't be beauteous.
Did you
The
say
song
absolutely?
you to sing on our travels.
Perfect. So you said absolutely, Dan? You're muted if you're talking, but I'm going to assume you said yes until you say hell no. I imagine that you, Delvon, and Cyric would kind of go to the front of the temple and gather everybody, which Delvon would give his praise to the god of courage to find the bravery in the darkest of hours, and kind of all this blah, blah, blah about courage. And then the same for Cyric. He would say that justice is the most important in all of the beliefs, and to find justice in all laws broken, and kind of just go on for like what Warren, I imagine, would feel like forever at this hour. And the way the acoustics in this room talk, it's like just next to impossible to sleep. It just sounds like they're like literally somehow talking in your ear no matter what you do. And then Octavius's part comes up. I don't know if you actually want to say anything, Dan, or if you just want to kind of say that you did a speech about Il Matter. I imagine that Octavius.
I got it.
Okay, go for it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. So Octavius would under the altar, and he'd look out to the crowd and he'd say, "God of mercy and pain, will always be there to help you through your strong or your weak times, and we need to bond together." And Octavius will like contort himself like that, like a very painful looking physical pose, and he'll look out and he'll say, "We all need to make sure that we help each other and that we love each other. We always try to stop any suffering in the world, and love your fellow man." And he just rambles on for hours, definitely to Warrendale's chagrin, but he just goes on for hours about how amazing the healing factors of helping others is.
Yeah, and Warren, you see very early on in Octavius's speech that Belladora gets up and leaves, kind of looking at you like, there's no fucking way I'm dealing with this shit. And do you just sit there?
The Warrendale would probably head out. He's heard enough of Octavius' servants to know what he's going to say. Although he pretends to respect them, he's heard it all before.
All right, so Warren, Octavius, I imagine that you're so caught up in the prayers, and you're just like absolutely feeling it, and everyone's kind of also like feeling what you're laying down, and a couple of the homeless people are also like adopting the pose that you're adopting, and just really getting into this pray. It's kind of like one of those like willy-nilly churches where like the pastor is like just yelling and going crazy and like executing or exercising people, and you're just like you're taking people's pain and stuff. There's like a crippled old lady, and she's like, my back hurts, and Octavius just comes over and is like, let me endure your back pain, and it's just like that.
I'm sure
and
like
you, Warren Dow, take off into the streets.
Before
Belladora,
the wave of fans start.
Yeah.
Wave.
I don't know if you're trying to follow Belladora. If you do, you can say so, but she otherwise would disappear pretty quickly.
No, he was actually just going to head back over to the
Gotcha.
tavern there.
Libby and Sunny, did you guys had a room together, correct? Or I thought that you guys all were sharing a room. Is that what it was? I think that's what we agreed on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone that knows?
I don't know, and I would imagine Livy would be down for sharing just to save coin.
If anything, I think it was 2 boys and 2 girls, but I thought it was a room full together. But we'll say, unless you disagree, Corey, that you and Livy are in the same room.
Yeah, it works for me.
And you guys kind of wake up to the morning. You would look outside to see that the storm is still kind of blowing on, but it's subsided a bit to a point where like you can actually see the sun, but occasionally you just hear these really loud kind of almost scream sounding howls of wind. And as you do so, the window would be temporarily whited out by the snow that gets blown by. You would just kind of like hear the cracking of the frost just like freezing against the glass. And even though the building is brick and stone, you would just somehow feel like the wind is even getting through the brick. It's just so nippy out. But yeah, you guys wake up around the same time, I imagine.
Yep.
I'm not so sure I'm going to get used to this, Livy. This weather is unnatural.
Yes, I haven't seen this much snow ever. Like, family's supposed to be supposed to have been from Bryn Sanders, but this, I can see why we left. This is so much snow. Holy cow.
Yeah, you'd look outside and see that the snow drifts that have been blown against the wall, some of them are as high as like 15 feet. Yeah. Maybe not like necessarily snowed that much, but like just the way the wind has blown it, it's just kind of like made this slope against some of the walls and is like over a story high. So like if you wanted to go outside, you'd have to like push open the door and you'd just be like as high as the door, snow in certain areas. The streets wouldn't be as bad because the wind has kind of swept it, but like where Kelvin Comfort is, just kind of the brunt of it has been almost like swallowed by this snow drift.
Okay. So like if she were to look at her window, is like the snow like covering it or like just
it's
below?
Like just up, just below it.
So it was just kind of like it's cold and whatnot, but she'll look around the room like do they have heavy blankets and whatnot?
Yeah, there's some big bed blankets. Bryn Sander has some pretty thick like wool blankets.
Awesome. Then like she would be like grabbing blankets and piling by the window, and she's like, but there is something that we can't do when there's not snow. And she's gonna like push open the window. She's gonna like attempt to just like carefully jump out into the snow, just like ride it down as she can. She's just gonna try and play in it for a little bit. Absolutely.
So Sunny, you wake up just I imagine Livy with this big smile on her face, and she's like just scooping up blanket after blanket. To which she says what she just said, that she something that you can't do in the snow. And then she opens up the window, and this icy, cool breeze just whips through the entire room and kind of blows snow around. And I imagine that she just like smile and blanket in hand, just jumps out the 15-foot high window and sinks. You just see like a puff of snow kind of where she was.
Awesome. Livy will just kind of work through it, and when she's able to like surface again, she'll like look back up, red cheeks and whatnot, and just be like, "Come on, it's fun." At least for a little bit.
You just see like a
She,
head bob out of the snow.
Yeah, she certainly looks down in the snow, sees the almost comical, I'm assuming, like cartoon body print of Olivia, that has been created, and just goes, is it cold?
Howling icy
duh.
wind blows into the room and shakes you to your core.
She'll make a snowball and toss at the window just to show it just how it goes and whatnot. Come on, we can make a snowman.
What is?
And then she'll like in like one of the more shallower spots, kind of like just fall back and just start snow angeling. Like, do it, Sonny, just jump. Only 5 minutes, and then we should go back inside. 5 minutes of fun. Gets back up, starts rolling a snowball.
Okay.
Will Sunlit have fun?
Yeah, is she? Okay. And she kind of just puts her hands on the windowsill that I'm assuming has snow all over it.
Yep.
And it's awful, isn't it? Like I can imagine.
Especially since I imagine your paws are probably like pretty sensitive to cold anyways. So like I imagine that you have hands, but like
can I roll a con save to see if her feeling is to all this?
Yeah, go ahead, roll a con save and just see if
I love it.
if you're just like nope, or if you actually do it or not.
She's all dope about
Like,
it. Yeah, you know, it's gonna be something great that's gonna make her want to.
That's
Oh my god!
That was great.
It's cold, but there's something about that rosy cheeked face and big smile on Libby's face.
Yeah.
Like it's worth it.
And she goes ahead and she's an amazingly dexterous woman, and does kind of like a front flip, ish like if wrestling, like a swanton bomb, like a front flip onto her back into the snow, and it begins to play with Livy in the snow.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you jump in, it's kind of like jumping into that ice cold water for the first time. It's the most excruciating like feeling for about 3 seconds, and then you come out, and after you shake off the cold, you realize that your body just almost goes numb instantly. So you see the fun in it, and obviously, Livy's fun is contagious. So you just kind of catch yourself in it. I imagine like you just see a snowball come whipping across and hit one of you in the head as like a couple little kids across the street start to laugh and run away.
Oh no, it's on.
Okay, so yeah, I was like exactly what Livy's is like. Oh,
yeah. I mean, the two of them gotta look at each other and go,
"It's on."
Yeah.
Warren down. Make me a deck save.
Roll bad. Sonny hits you in the face with a damn snowball.
As you're walking to Calvin Comfort, a snowball whips by your head that you just narrowly dodge. And as you look over, you see Sunlit and Livy playing in the snow, whipping snowballs at some kids running away laughing behind you.
When you children are done, we have a few words. I'd buy you breakfast.
I was like, oh, Warndell, come play.
No.
Oh, that's the spirit. It's just like hold up a snowball, just kind of like, come on, let's see your best shot.
Yeah, someone's gonna whip another one at him. Absolutely.
Snowball fight.
Yeah, I'm whipping a snowball at him again.
All right. Let's just do a contest. Dex versus Dex.
Yeah.
Or Warren Dow, if you have something better in mind, you can.
Where the I'm looking for dice.
Where do you want me to roll against it?
Livy's getting in on the snowball too. Apparently, she whips one at you.
Jesus.
Very playfully, very playfully.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice dexterity 20. You
Oh,
gotta beat it. You gotta beat a
nice.
20 Sunlit. So just roll your acrobatics or whatever. I'll say
Okay.
you're a sniper probably.
Everybody else did a dex check. I'll just do a straight dex check like everybody else did.
Oh,
Yeah,
Woo!
you dodge Livy's snowball
Right
quickly.
into sunlets.
Unfortunately, the precision of Sunlit and just a night full of tension has let her snipe you right in the face, and it's kind of hit you. It's snow; it doesn't hurt or anything, but
Livy
it probably is pretty annoying to you.
Yeah, and
They're running like, oh shoot.
and she's just like, her cloak has fallen off. You know what I mean? She's for some reason not so concerned that she's trying to be stealthy about who she is at this moment, and she's just got this grin on her face.
It's the happiest you've seen Sunlit in at least since her wine's been taken.
Yeah.
Warren will reach up, just kind of wipe this from his face, a bit of a frown. Walks towards you, Sunlit stops a few feet away. You see the slight little smirk on the corner of his face. I'm just going to cast a True Strike just for the spell. But whenever I cast a spell, I get a whirlwind of 10 feet around me. So I'm just going to make all the snow just pile on top of her. Give me a laugh. Come inside and I will buy you breakfast.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to go in. I can't feel my fingers anymore.
Yep, a whirlwind of snow kind of hits you all back in in retaliation. To which now you guys start to feel the cold. The 5 minutes of numb has worn off, and now you're feeling the stinging bite of the snow on your skins and whatnot. Since you're still not technically dressed for the weather.
Yeah.
Livy, when they get back into the inn, like she'll go upstairs and she'll take be sure to put the wet clothes near the fire to kind of dry off and whatnot, and just use a blanket to really keep herself all warm, and just wait a little bit.
Beautiful.
Warren will get whatever porridge or whatever the hell they have for breakfast that's warm. Get a bowl for both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bowl and take a seat.
And Olgan makes a mean breakfast actually, so it's pretty good. It would be a bowl of porridge for sure, and some kind of sugars poured into it, and then a warm coffee with a shot of the Fire Brandy's whiskey in it. So just enough. And when you take a sip of that coffee, the little tiny shot of whiskey just warms you up even more. It's kind of, it maybe even seems magical how warm this Firebeard's whiskey works just from a sip of it.
I don't know. Sunlit has no idea.
Do you give Sunlit one, or do you still hold back?
No, I don't. I'd give her at least the coffee.
Yeah, the coffee is like nothing to get you drunk. Right? It's literally just like probably less than a shot.
So,
and
yeah.
then
I think to be fully supportive of Sunlit, even Livy would be like, I'll take the coffee too.
Nice. And then so you guys are having breakfast. Anything you discuss while doing so, or should I jump forward?
I think Livy would ask so where's Tavius, and where were you last night? You didn't get caught out there. Obviously you didn't.
No. We helped over at the church. Set them up. Lots of refugees coming in from the cold. He is pertaining to a sermon right now, so it should be long in, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours. You know how he gets yapping along. So we have plenty of time to eat our food and stay warm. And
you guys all have a flashback to riding on Zephyros's airship the last time that Octavius guys gave you a sermon. And how many hours or days did your last sermon on the airship last, Octavius? If you're there.
It was 16 and a half hours.
Straight. And he didn't talk the entire time. By the time he was done, his voice was gone, but he told you it was all part of the prayer.
In the pose.
In the pose also. The mighty endurance pose.
I handed it to him. That's some devotion.
Strong constitution.
That too. But okay, Okay, well, cool. That's very cool that you guys got to do that. I wish I could have helped. I, however, ran some people who are looking for Tavios. Do you know where he's from, Warno?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask him when he's done. But here, maybe.
It'll be a while.
Right.
It'll be quite a while.
Oh, probably tonight. But the interesting thing though is these people who are looking for him want to know where he's from, and I didn't know, and I tried being honest about that, but apparently they have some other person who sent them and decided to kill them because I couldn't give them the information. So pulls out the picture. It's like, this is kind of what showed up on their neck as they were choked to death. The circles. And so it's like,
would Warren recognize that, or you're muted, Chris?
Oh, you can give it if you want.
What kind of
check? Whatever you want to check, and depending.
Let me see. Actually, I'm really not great at anything. I'll just do Arcana. See if there's anything. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and from Livy's drawing, not necessarily knocking her artistic ability, but you definitely don't recognize it. It just looks like a bunch of circles and weird scribbles.
Yeah. Perhaps he got a disease from a hooker or something. That happens sometimes. People go a little crazy.
Kind of like scrunch his face, like, I'm pretty sure that was not a disease. No. But anyways, yeah, just figured, I guess we'll take
Does she know anything?
Maybe he knew the people.
Perhaps fans. Maybe they wanted to hear his sermon. They might be over there now.
Maybe.
Yeah, with your history, that you wouldn't know either from the drawing. Both of you maybe would have a better chance if you seen it in person, maybe. But from the drawing, at least that Livy did, which is pretty spot on, she did draw it pretty well. You guys have no clue.
Olivia, what else happened to them whilst this choking was happening?
He kind of grabbed his neck as though something was there, and then he fell to the ground.
Dead, I presume.
Like I even actually, oh yeah, we're supposed to go to the prison. They have the bodies there. So once my I guess you can go, Warren, because your clothes and you Sunlit, but I'm gonna wait till my clothes are a little drier. But over at the prison, insert dwarf name. She took them there last night with some others, and I was
The dwarf lady.
Yes. Insert name.
Ogric.
Ogric.
Yeah, her name is Ogric. We were given the tour by her, actually.
Lady.
Quite lovely. Warren.
Yeah, and she told you to meet her at the town hall. That's where Sheriff Markham Southwell stays, and that's where the jail cell is in the town hall itself.
That's the guy we talked to before, too, right?
Yes, that's the guy that you guys originally came and asked about Artist Simber. He said he didn't know, and he also said that he might have work for you guys, like scouting around once you're more dressed for the weather.
Which we're not, so.
Yeah. I love it. It's just kind of like, oh, it'd be so nice to get one of those.
Did you find anything out about the cloaks there, Warren?
He would have had them ready today. I made him chop. He hurried quite quickly. I think he's a little afraid of me.
So wonderful. Thank you, Warren.
But the young lad, he's... I don't remember the bastard that we're looking for, that Cinder fellow. But we met his son. Artist, yes. It's his son that is making the anti-cloaks.
And did the son tell you where Artist is?
He don't know where he is. He don't like his father.
Oh.
Which would kind of strike you as weird, Livy, because the stories that Aaron would always tell you would just be like how great Artist and Harshnag and
that's
the party was.
Like, that's really odd.
He says his father left him at the church and as a child and left, never to return. So abandoned him, I suppose.
Oh.
Such a dastardly thing. They should beat him.
I thought he was. I didn't even know he had a son, but I would have thought he would have been left with like his mother, but huh?
Quite a lively fellow.
I don't know though. I wonder if he's ever heard the stories that his father. I should meet him. I could tell him all about his father, or at least what my grandpa told me about his father.
He didn't seem to like him very much.
Well, I guess anyone would be upset if their parent just left them without any word.
Tell me about it.
So yeah, you guys have a couple choices then, unless you guys want to discuss anything else. But you could go to the church and meet up with Octavius, or you could go to the town hall where Augric did tell you to meet her in the morning. Livy?
I think Livy's choice is going to be town hall first, because that seems like at least if there's a chance that these two might be able to recognize what it is, or even if they found out what it is that caused their death. And then she'd be ready to zip back to meet the son of Artemis. Yeah.
Artemis.
Gotcha.
Artemis.
So Warren and Sunny, Livy wants to go to town hall first. What do you guys want to do?
Warrendale. Why did you do that to me last night?
Because you get unwieldy and unruly. You're told for your own good. You'll thank me later.
But at the same time, you made a fool of me. Again.
You made a fool of yourself, not me.
No, because you fooled me. And if
well, don't be so naive. You got to learn the cultures of our people. Take a joke, Sonny.
I don't find you very funny right now, Warrendale.
That's okay. You will later.
I'm not so sure about that. Olivia, I think going to the town hall sounds like a wonderful idea.
Awesome.
Why don't we prepare ourselves and we'll go do so? You're coming with us, Warrendale.
And prestidigitation. Clothes are ready.
Cool story.
Suddenly, the ice and snow whips off her clothing as she casts a spell, and she's suddenly dry.
Nice. Gotta conserve energy. And we're under a time constraint, I guess. Oh my god.
Are you coming with us, Warrendale?
I
wouldn't want to put you out.
No. We'll be okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
Awesome. And
as you head out into the snowy streets, it's at this moment that you do go out that it's kind of like a particular break in the storm. So it's definitely by no means warm, or will it ever be warm again while you're in Bryn Sanders. But you can at least look up and see the sun. The gusts of wind that blow the snow by are at least a couple minutes in between. So it's decent enough to walk around that you guys won't have to worry about freezing to death. And the kind of giant scones of fire throughout the streets have been lit again. The storm kind of blew them out, but now that it's a little bit more contained, they have them going again. So every like 15 feet, there's a big kind of flame that is used to warm the close, tight-knit streets as you walk around. You kind of loop around the marketplace, and as you're walking through that, heading eastward down towards where the town hall would be, Belladora suddenly appears again, and she just suddenly is just walking with you guys. You don't even really know where she came from, but there she is all of a sudden, and she just looks over and, "Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all up in Toasty."
He's just visiting me again, eh?
It's just that charm, Warrendale. I have something about the look in your eyes. She smiles. But I'm actually not here for you today. I know it's going to break your heart a little bit, but I'm thinking of having a girls' day, a shopping trip, if you will. And she looks over to Sunny.
Lucky you.
I'm not interested in going anywhere with you there, Bellador.
Oh, that's too bad, because I remember when you came into town yesterday, that your weapon was broken. I guess if that's not important to you, I was just gonna offer a blacksmith, but you're not interested. I guess. Sorry, he's only the best blacksmith in all of the 10 towns, but that's okay.
What is a 10 town?
The 10 towns are the cities. The Brynshander makes up one of the 10 towns, and it's this establishment throughout the mountains. And she starts to go off on this spiel about how there's 10 different towns, and there's 10 different speakers for each town, and the speakers make up a council. And our town speaker is Devessa, and she already told you about Devessa. She has a secret lover named Jennifer, who's the waitress, and she just kind of goes on for a while.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Yeah. But she's like, yeah, I guess if you're not interested in fixing your weapon.
A blacksmith.
Yes, I'm actually quite good friends with him. I probably could have got you a deal, but you're not interested.
No, I'm not interested in you. I'm very interested in seeing a blacksmith.
It's disappointing because, unfortunately for you, I'm kind of the person that knows where this blacksmith is. So. And I guess you could stumble around and try to find it, and then if you did find it, you wouldn't get the same deal that I could get you.
Wow, you talk a lot, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. She smiles. So, are you going to come with me or not? She smiles again. She holds out her hand.
I'm going to try to play another trick on me, like you did with him.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about your weapons.
Wasn't talking to you.
Listen, Sonny, we can have a girls' day. You guys look like you have business to take care of, anyways. We can gossip and talk all kinds of smack about Warrendale and what an asshole he is.
You don't like me either. You guys should get along great.
That's an understatement.
Come. You guys can meet back up later. Your friend's still at the church. Couple hours, everyone meet there.
Wonderful.
I'm fine with that.
And she reluctantly goes with her.
And even though it's reluctantly, she will grab your hand, and it's basically like two besties. She tries to simulate like two besties going on a sweet shopping trip into the mall, and she starts to talk your ear off again and asking you where you're from, what's your culture, why'd you come here for, and just like a million questions per minute, probably annoying you, but the fact that she apparently knows this great blacksmith is maybe enough for you to endure it.
No, it is. And she would answer, I'm from Azteca. Yes, it's across the water. Yes, the water. There's water over down south of. Have you ever been out of this town?
Yeah, and she would tell you that she's actually been all around the world. She's
around the world. You have never been to Azteca, my friend. I'm sure of that.
3 times, she says.
Really?
Yep. I actually
I want to insight check her.
Go ahead. Give me a second. I gotta pull up her stat block. I wasn't ready.
Oh wait, that was history. Sorry. Well, we could just do that. It's actually a 19.
19?
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's actually a 20. Sorry.
20?
Because I have one higher in that.
All right. Surprisingly, you can tell that she's fibbing.
Yeah. Tell me what the sand looks like in Mazteca.
I just closed her. Damn.
Well, no, and that's fine. If she says, we give an answer because I'm going to give an opposite answer. You know what I mean? An opposite answer.
Yeah. Yeah. So she says brown or whatever.
Yeah. No. Well, no, because on the South Shore, it's all black sand. That's where I'm from.
Oh, I must have been on the North Shore. She says.
No, on the North Shore, it says white as the snow.
Oh, I'm not so good with North and South. That's kind of just like jib jabber to me. It must have been one of the coasts, maybe an offspring island. Who knows?
Could have been. I'm sure your time there was lovely, and she does realize now that
she's alive.
There's urchins in her in her cities in Mazteca as well. So she's figured out what this girl is at this point.
Absolutely.
And just goes along with it. But sometimes these people do have the best connections in the city. So she will go along with her little ruse.
And she walks you through the marketplace and continues to ask any question that she can get out of you, just like a never-ending cesspool of questions. To which we will, before Livy and Warren get to the town hall, jump back to Mr. Octavius, who's just finished his whopping 6-hour mini sermon.
Sorry.
To which
he has finished chanting.
Go ahead.
No,
are you
just going with you?
Still holding the pose. Everybody else now at this point is like growing sore from holding the pose and kind of went back on with their day. To which Sirik kind of comes over and he's just like, "Wow, that was something else." It seems like everybody else has kind of went on with the day though. Want to help me clean up or something?
I should probably get that holy symbol and get back to him. I don't think by helping you clean up, that'll teach you how to strive for mercy.
Yeah, you're probably right. Here, let's come this way. And he starts to walk you over and basically goes behind the main chapel into like a little kind of bookwork room. And he starts going through all the drawers and stuff and pulls out a couple of symbols of Torm, a couple of Tyr. And he's like, I know they have to be like a spare one here or something. He pulls out like a tome of Ilmater, which is like you've read that one at least 5 times. And then finally he'll pull out a symbol of Ilmater. And it's actually very similar to the one that your High Father gave you in the kind of final moments where he passed it on. It actually looks eerily similar. His was kind of unique, but this one, for a moment, you almost think it's yours, and then you realize that it's a little different. But there's that moment that makes you think of yours again.
Very, very happy, to put it back around his neck and to show the symbol of his god again. He just gives the Sirik a bright, shiny grin and basically the eyes of thank you.
Yeah, thank you for helping out.
And then he'll ask, man, it was easy to do. I was wondering about those Yeti furs, though. Me and my friends really need to get on this mission.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I almost forgot. I suppose if you come give me a hand, I could probably finish them up. They might not be as amazing as they normally were, but together we should probably be able to make them at least good, right? Have you ever made it before?
I've read 14 tomes on how to do this before. I'll show you how to do the stitching much quicker, but we'll be able to make high class stuff. Let's go. Beautiful.
So together you guys start pounding away on the Yeti coats. Go ahead and give me a check. Let's see, what is Octavius actually good at that would make sense? Not a whole lot, but you can give me a. Do you think that he's ever actually made a coat for real in life, or?
Never, not once in his life.
So give me a survival check at disadvantage.
I don't want the coat he's making.
Yeah. He can make his own coat.
Fall apart halfway out there.
Well, that's all right. He has 2 of them. Don't worry about it.
Yes. Beautiful. Luckily, you have Sirik there, who actually has made quite a bit of Yeti coats. And as soon as you get in, he tells you that the stitching is actually supposed to go into the Yeti coats, not your finger, Octavius, as you like prick yourself with a needle on accident and start bleeding. And then he'll help you.
That one's mine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't necessarily help him out, but he does stick there with you, and he'll actually start kind of talking to you and just be like, so where do you hail from? What's your church that you grew up in? Temple.
I grew up in a great temple with a really good head or father of the house, and it was in a really nice place. It was kind of similar to this. It wasn't as big, and we didn't share it with 2 gods, but it was nice. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
You said you had a high father there.
Yeah. He was one of the only ones that would really spend time with me.
Was he your father?
No, no. He kept reminding me that he wasn't all the time. Actually, over kind of funny, but and no, I guess I was dropped off as a baby to the to the place. Whatever. I was just there for a long time.
At least you had someone there for you. My dad, he kind of waited until I was just old enough to remember, and then he took off. Said that he had this ring that was going to save the world, and if he stayed here, that we'd all be in danger. I don't know. It all kind of seems like bull to me, you know. I don't want to swear in the church, he whispers, but once Mom passed away, he just kind of became obsessed, and he's traveling more and more, and I guess I was a bother to him, so he brought me up here to Bryn, dropped me off at the church, and he said that it's better this way.
Well, Sirik, I don't think that you were ever a burden to your father. From the stories that we've heard, he was a great man, and I'm sure he just brought you here to protect you. I'm sure he loved you, and Octavius will be trying to console him not only now but in the future, and to just try to plant the seed that maybe there was a different way or a different reason that his father left him there.
Yeah, he definitely has a hard time believing it, and believes that it's pretty like unjust for his father. So he kind of has that lawful good mentality, and the fact that his dad like just left him here in this icy kind of city. He likes the god of justice and stuff, and working here at the Triad, but he's definitely bitter, and it will probably take a while. He likes you and likes talking to you, but anytime you kind of mention that his father, like, maybe he was right, he's just like, no, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't he just bring me him? If I wasn't a burden to him, then he would have just brought me instead of leaving me here.
Octavius will probably about the ring.
What's that? Sorry, you cut out on me.
Yeah, Octavius would ask him, like, what did you mean that he carried a ring that he thought could save the world?
I don't know. He never really showed me it. I kind of seen one time that he was hiding it, and he barely ever wore it, but just this blue, almost icy looking ring that he would hide. And when I asked him about it, he said to never ask any questions again, and that just knowing about it is dangerous. But apparently he is mighty enough to wield it himself, so I don't know. Sounds like an excuse to me. The ring is probably nothing.
Did your father ever tell you where he might be going?
I believe the last thing he said was he was going to look for Mom. That doesn't make any sense because she died, so who knows? Maybe that magic ring isn't bullshit, and maybe it actually did drive him crazy like it said it could.
Yeah, I guess other than just probing for any other pertinent information, Octavius will help him do the Yeti skin coats.
Yeah. So other than that, he would just kind of talk. He wouldn't really say anything super important. He doesn't know a whole lot about the ring. He's not a super big fan about his dad, and I'm trying to think.
Any clues on anything about friends? Like maybe his dad's friends, or how to get in touch with his friends, or maybe like an emergency that his dad might have sent a message or anything at all?
Not that he knows of, he would say. And at this point, we will jump over to Warren and Livy, who are just heading into the town hall. From there, you kind of walk through the main feasting area, the gathering area with all these tables, and you go into the back where you see Ogric is sitting at the desk where Markham was sitting last. And you see a jail cell behind her where 5 men are currently lying down facing the ground, and there's a couple of guards also gathered around, and they all kind of have like a worried look on their face. And just like, oh, hi there, Livy. Hi, Warren. I'm glad you guys can make it. Bad news, though. She kind of points over to the men who are in the jail cell, and none of them are moving. And then as you just kind of get that sinking feeling that there is no life in all 5 of them. And she says, well, they came conscious halfway through the night and started screaming that they need to get out of here.
These are the men who attacked you.
Yes, they would have been.
No bad news that they did them.
Okay, now that let me just like kind of give a slight jerk, just like, oh, I guess they tried to attack me.
They deserve to die then.
To which point, one kind of moves a bit, and then he pushes himself up, and he just kind of, oh, my head. And then he looks around and, hey, Scab, wake up. What the? And then shakes him, realizes that he's dead, looks over to his other friend, and his other friend is like, what the hell's going on? What did you do to them?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
They're dead. Did you guys do this? What kind of jail is this? You just kill people?
This person is trying to kidnap. Well, no, we did not do this. In fact, we were hoping that you'd be able to tell us, because it seemed that your boss person couldn't talk about who or why they needed my friend, our friend. So.
You ain't getting anything from me. How do I know you're not just going to kill me once I tell you what you need to know?
Do I look like a killer? She's just like, do I look like a killer? No.
Do I look like a killer?
But that one does, and he points at Warrendale.
I could kill you now if that one.
No.
It'd be better for you.
Warren, you're not helping. Come on.
Well, you don't want to tell us anyway. I mean, you should just kill the bastard. I mean, it's real simple.
Simple, maybe, but no.
You got rid of the others already.
Purpose.
Do you want to give an intimidation, Warren?
Yeah.
Who?
Warren. It's gonna give
Who was he giving intimidation to?
The prisoner.
The guy on the ground.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, I imagine like maybe like an arcane kind of spark to your eye as you lead that threat, and just a raw energy kind of emanates from you, and he's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't need to go killing anybody. Listen, I don't know what you did. And then, so you guys didn't do this to them?
No.
Perhaps.
Larry just sucks again, just like.
The guy throws his hand in the air. Well, like, don't do it to me if you did. All I know is that Vanger, he said that he talked to this weird man, and that they hired us to go out and there's this party in town, and I guess you're part of the party. Then there's a cleric or something, some stupid church going guy, blah blah blah. And Vankar said that the guy that paid him gave us a crap ton of money, over 1,000 gold.
What is it?
That is a lot.
I imagine back at Vangar's room. But here's the weird thing. Apparently, the guy did this weird like ritual or something to the other 4 or the other 5. And the guy had this staff, this black staff, they said. And when they slammed it into the ground, like tentacles or something came out of it. I thought that they were drunk or being idiots or something, and it choked them. And then apparently this figure said, find out this information or it'll be your last day here. And like, I don't know. It seemed like all crap to me. And maybe Vanguard was just trying to scare us. But I don't know. And then he kind of moves the collar of one of the dead bandits and sees this same mark that Livy saw around their neck. They had these stupid marks, though. So, I don't know. I don't know who the guy could have been. I wasn't part of it at the time. I was just at the North Look.
Did the five give a name?
I don't know. I was, like I said, I was at the North Look where all the other mercenaries and people hang out. Vanguard had a room there, a lockbox. Apparently, this guy that they met with also was staying there. I never seen the guy, and if he has the power to do that, then I'm glad that I didn't. Although
It's how much
killed-
your work anyway.
what's that? Sorry,
It's how much your work anyway.
but that's all I know. So please, I don't know. I don't want to get out. Just leave me in here and don't let anyone come get me. I don't know if that guy's still kicking around, but if he has the power to just make people drop dead, then I don't want to mess with him.
Well, that's your answers. Warren will turn and walk past Livy and out the door.
Thank you.
Yeah. To which Algreg would kind of look at you and just say that like she kind of has her hands full, so I can get to it later. But if you guys wouldn't mind, maybe you go check out the North Look, and she would tell you that it's in the north end of town, near the outer gates of the north. And she just say follow the main street and go left. And then already she's like talking like you guys agreed before you said anything. And she's just like, the North Look is just this it's an inn that's frequented by mercenaries and adventurers mostly. It's a pretty rowdy and dangerous bar, but if they had a room there, you can talk to Scramsack. He's the owner of it, and tell him that I sent you. And this guy's name was apparently Vanguard, and I don't know, maybe if you give a description of a weird looking guy carrying a staff, he'll know. I don't know, it's a stretch. Do you don't mind, do you?
Warren will stop at the door and turn to Livy, waiting for her. We can go get revenge for you if you would like.
Yeah. I also tell Tavius about this as well, just to he might know something.
He should know that somebody's looking for him.
That too.
And then so yeah, are you guys gonna go there, or do you want to go to the temple first?
I say we go to the temple. Gather Octavius. He can partake in some sinful delights at the tavern as well.
Livy, agree?
Yes.
All right. Then you guys start heading back to the temple, to which we have Sunny and Belladora finally coming up to this this inn building, and it's a small looking smithy actually stand that's just kind of on the outskirts of the town square where the marketplace is. You see that it's kind of just like this one tattered like little tent, and the snow is mostly kind of torn away and frozen parts of it, but on the top of it you see black iron blades. And she says, well, this is it. This is black iron blades. Garn, he's the smithy here, and I can tell you right now, if you have a weapon that needs fixing, he's the man to go to. Doesn't hurt that I know his sister Elsa, and together they run the shop. I'll just come in with you, and where's your weapon? Pull it out. Let's see what you got here.
And she pulls out the broken comma.
Yeah. And she's like, so are we just fixing this, or do you got any kind of ideas or something?
Have you even seen a weapon like this before? On your travels?
Oh, yeah.
I very, you know,
Yeah. I
very,
used to
very
wield a
snarky.
couple of these. Pretty good at it myself. She kind of grabs it and goes to give it a whirl.
Whoa, girl.
To which she actually does pretty decently at. And then hands it back to you. So we just fixing it up, or?
I've actually got an idea of how of a weapon that one of my masters used to wield. I'd love to talk to the blacksmith about it.
All right, come on in. And she pushes past the canopy, and inside you just see like an anvil and this big, portly human with this kind of tan skin and a big, bushy gray beard, long, kind of pushed back gray and black hair, big, sooty face, and kind of big, bulbous nose. Kind of looks at you, and a girl standing behind him with similar black kind of hair and a dirty face. She's wearing. They're both wearing kind of like really dirty Smith clothes, aprons and whatnot. The female says, Belladora, back again, I see. And you brought a customer, I'm hoping? To which Belladora says, yes, this is my good friend, Sunlit. And she puts her arms around you. Come in, Sunny. She has a weapon here for Garn to fix up or perhaps do something with. Go ahead, Sunny, tell him.
Okay. She does have her cloak over her head still.
Yeah.
Um.
Belladora actually tries to pull it back, but you can resist if you want.
Yeah, I'm much taller than her, I'm assuming. Like I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, she still has her hand wraps on like she would all the time, so on and so forth. And she just kind of pushes her hand on her. Here, Belladar. I have this now. Let's see if you cannot talk here for maybe even a minute.
She's like shaking her head like, yeah.
What is your name, kind sir?
Name's Garn.
Garn. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
I have a weapon that you may have not seen before. But I also would like
all
to
weapons.
All weapons. Have you ever seen this? And she brandishes the broken comma.
Well, it is karma, huh?
It is a. What was that?
It is karma.
And she looks to the woman. Is this how he speaks all the time?
Yeah. She says.
Was there an accident or something?
Just how he speaks. It's my brother.
Okay.
But yes, he says that he's seen a comma before.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He's
Well,
a smithy after all.
Wonderful. Well, sir, I actually wouldn't mind so much. I don't want to carry this broken comma any longer. And she brings out and she brandishes the whole comma. You know what I mean? The one the one that she's been using because she has two. I have an idea. One of my masters back in Mazteca. Have you heard of Mazteca before? Because she says she does, and she's been there 3 times.
I don't care about Mazteca. We only weapon fast or not.
And she just looks at his sister.
He said that he doesn't care about where you're from, just wants to know if you want your weapon fixed or not.
I actually would like to have one. I'd like to have this one modified.
Go on. We're not mind readers here.
I understand. Thank you. What it is here is that one of my masters, he had a weapon that had a comma on it like this. And there was a I wouldn't say very long, but a great length of chain, probably at least 1.5 times the size of me. And on the end of it, it had a bludgeoning end. And you could swing the chain, and you could use it in various ways. I have a bit of training in this weapon, and I would like to maybe have one here on this side of the water. Is that something you think you could make, sir?
No, you're gone to do everything like that. There's not even challenge. He said yes, he could do it.
How long would that take, sir?
Day or two.
Day or two. Okay. What type of payment would you need for such a thing, sir?
kind of looks. Oh.
I'd be willing to give you the broken comma that you could probably resell.
I don't want no broken comma. To which she's like, yeah, he's not interested in that. A weapon of that caliber, kind of exotic, not what we normally would do. Garn, what do you say, 100 gold pieces?
She looks
kind
over at
nods.
her friend.
And then Belladora kind of shrugs her shoulders and has like her mouth like zipped. You told her to zip it.
Oh, I did.
She smiles. Elza, don't you owe me a favor? Sunninlet's my good friend here, and I promised her that I would get her a good deal. You know, it's good advertising. This apparent Sunlit here has been all over the world. She reigns from actually across the ocean and has been traveling from down south all the way up to here. She told me that she flew in a giant's castle to here, and apparently a crazy adventure. Just imagine the kind of advertising that Black Irons could get from someone who travels as much as her. To which she rolls a persuasion and is pretty dang persuasive. Let me just see actually how persuasive she is. So she says, for you, Belladora, if it's your friend, how's 50 gold? And she looks at you.
Yeah, I can get that.
Perfect. Tell you what, the weapon's kind of cool. I'll pay 25 of it if you let me keep the comma.
I know it's not a weapon that is from this region, and I believe that if you found the right person, it certainly would be lucrative for you to sell it.
No, you mean the right person. God says the right person. I can pick the weapon if I want to.
Certainly.
Don't worry about what he said.
Yeah, certainly. You know, I do understand that, you know, there may be some work for you to fix the broken comma. She's starting to kind of understand him slightly. You know what I mean? But I do believe that, again, with the right buyer, you certainly could create a penny on this.
And he kind of like
just
shoos you off, and she's just like, he says he wants to get to work on it now, so if you want it sooner than later, he's
no, I certainly would need it as quickly as he possibly could muster it.
All right. To which point he would start to go working on it, and Belladora, as you enter the tent, would say, "See, I told you I could be of use to you. Not so uninteresting now, am I?"
You're an interesting girl, but truthfulness is certainly a quality that us Tabaxi we appreciate. So just putting that
Sunlit, I would never lie to you, she smiles.
Wonderful. Then
to which he says, should we get back to your friends now? It's been such a wonderful shopping trip, but we did promise them, and I know you're probably itching to see Warren again.
Oh, yes. Probably not as much as you, though. You seem to trying to twinkle when he's around.
Maybe. And then she starts walking you. And as she does start to walk you notice that you wouldn't be going through the marketplace anymore. And the stone kind of well put together buildings quickly start to turn into like broken down buildings. And then the broken down buildings start to turn into like not really buildings at all anymore. And then it's more like tent. And you realize that she kind of has brought you through this kind of like ghetto area where you see people just kind of looking like very home.
Belladora?
Oh, it's just a shortcut. Don't worry, it'll be much quicker. And as she's kind of as you're kind of asking this, she would say, why don't you and Warren get along so well?
I want an insight to check to say to see if this is a shortcut.
Go ahead.
Stop it, stupid computer. It's not great.
She seems like she's being pretty honest with you. To which she says, "You're not very trusting, are you, Sunlit?"
Well, no, it's just okay.
All right, you busted me.
You asked me about Warrendale,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that you and he are very different. Where are we going?
Listen, you caught me, okay? I wanted to show you something. Look
What is
around.
that?
Look at these people.
Yes.
And you take a look around, and you see quite a few of them actually frozen to death. And then you see another 5 of them gathered around this low-lit kind of fire, and they're passing around. You actually smell it first, a sour bottle of wine. And they're kind of drinking it, and one is starting to chug it, and then another rips it from his hand and is like, "Give me this, my turn!" And then he starts to drink it, and a fight kind of breaks out between them all. And you look at these 5 men, and they're fighting over what looks like maybe a gulp of wine. And she would look and ask you what you see.
I see some of the dregs of society fighting over what might be a drink.
And she points to the one man that's kind of like pushed aside and has fallen in the snow, and he like can't even pick himself up. He's so drunk, and he pukes on his hands and doesn't even seem to care. And he says, "You know that what that man used to do? He used to run one of the most profitable taverns in this city."
Did he?
That one over there, he used to be a great carpenter. That one, I don't even really know where he came from, but he seems to be doing the best. He got that bottle from all 5 of them. Look at him; he's enjoying that last gulp. Clearly worth it. But that's besides the point. Sorry. It's none of my business. I don't even really know why I care, but I see a lot of animosity between you and your friend Warren, and I just thought, since you're a Southerner, and I could just tell by the way you handled that water that we gave you. Yes, it was water. Funny joke. I'm sure eventually you're going to laugh hysterically at it. Don't worry. We've all been tricked before. I remember when I was a little girl and they told me that I was drinking and I acted all drunk too. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's actually quite, and then she starts going off into this spiel about how it's proven that when you think you're drunk, you start acting drunk. And then after a while, you probably give her a look like, "All right, what the hell are you talking about? Shut up." To which she's like, "Sorry, the point of the story is if you drink a lot, this is kind of what happens to you. I know it's great to be drunk and all, and it feels great, and you feel like you're invincible, but you can kind of get like a crutch, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like you needed support, and then when you needed support, you start acting different, and I don't know."
Is that what the word addiction that Livy said the other day is?
Yeah, addiction, if you haven't heard of that, it means that you need something so bad that you're willing to change who you are to get it. And make no mistake that alcohol has the power to do that. So you might have thought that Warren was being an asshole and teasing you.
He is not.
But what I seen is a friend who didn't want to see their friend turn into this. He might be an asshole. On second thought, he's definitely an asshole. But for whatever reason, you guys are traveling together, so it's something to think about. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, definitely not like I'm an experienced liar or anything. So
no, I would never think that.
But take a long, hard look at these people, Sonny, and ask yourself if it's worth maybe becoming that. It's just a dangerous route. I don't know why I care. Anyways, your friends will be this way.
I see your point. There, my friend.
To which she's like, "All right, let's go. Throw a moment over. I don't want to get all mushy here. Temple's over this way." To which,
and And she's trying, she's trying to talk, but we are talking at the same time. I like that.
Yeah.
And I have one last thing to say here, but thank you. Thank you for showing me this. Because I didn't... That addiction word is not something that that I'm aware of. I didn't know that that's what it would become.
That's fair. Talk to your friends.
To say...
I'm sure they'll be there for you. Like I said, you might think that they're out to get you, but that could honestly be the alcohol making you think that. I'm sure if you guys have come this far and floated around in a castle for a month, that they obviously don't think you're that bad. So maybe you should talk to them and see what's going on. To which point, she's on the main street. Yeah, and you see in the distance Warren and Livy also kind of walking that way. And then she's like, oh, awkward. We're talking about them.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, guys.
Yeah, and you can tell that she's like, for whatever reason, this girl's really weird because like first she's lying to you and then all of a sudden she's giving you this insight. And now that you're like trying to talk to her, she's like, no, just kind of like trying to avoid it. And then she's like, well, my great shopping trip, really had fun on the girls' day. I got stuff to take care of though.
Did you find any good snow boots though?
She's already gone.
That's not what we shopped for there, Livy.
I know I told you to keep an eye open. But oh well.
And we went 2 places. The other we'll talk about later, but I actually think that the blacksmith here is gonna make me what I've seen in my mind's eye of the weapon that I would like to wield.
Excellent.
Interesting how that came about.
To which, suddenly, kind of breaking the quietness of the sound of the town, the whipping wind has kind of died down momentarily, and all of a sudden, you guys just hear a boom.
Is that the same sound we heard when the snow first came in?
Similar, but different. And then again, after a moment's silence, a couple of guards start to run by you.
Yeah.
5 guards start running towards the main gate, which is a good like 300 feet away, maybe even 500 feet away. So they run by you.
Perhaps we should go find Tavius and...
Everyone give me a perception check.
Look, I found snow. It's everywhere.
So 19's the highest. Warren and Livy's back are kind of towards the main gate, and you're kind of looking sunlit. And for some reason, your eye is kind of taken to the sky. And as you're looking up for whatever reason, you see something up there. It's like a small, you don't really know what it is, but then it's quickly moving faster and faster and growing in size. And there's this moment when you realize that it's a enormous boulder of some kind, a stone, and it's heading right towards Warrendale. He's looking at the snow and admiring how his boots are getting wet.
Livy's snow angels.
But this boulder is absolutely enormous, double the size of you, and it's coming right for you guys. What do you do, Sunlit?
I
let Warren.
Again, being considerably larger than the 2 of them, I gather them both up in my arms and I push and jump out of the way of where the boulder would be.
All right, give me a dex check really quick.
Yeah. Don't screw me. Save or check?
Let's do a check for now.
Don't screw me, their algorithm. Okay, not too bad.
You're able to... You want to grab both of them. Yeah, that's all right with a 19. You're able to grab... you tackle into Warren and Livy and kind of push them out of the way, to which you both kind of fall to the ground. Warren, Sunlit's kind of on top of you, tackling you down. What do you do?
What the hell are you doing? Just start pushing her off. Crazy ass cat.
To which, before she can even reply, Warren,
there's that.
Whoosh, and then over top of you is blacked out, and this boulder hits the ground and absolutely explodes the snow and concrete, and then rolls forward and hits into a building and destroys the first level of it. Screams are heard, and then suddenly you hear the brick and mortar kind of giving away as a woman and child kind of run out. She carries her kid out and puts him in the street, and then yells back towards what you would assume is her husband, but she's shrieking and crying, and she goes to go back in, but you see that the building is falling down. This 2-story building destroyed by this boulder of absolute enormity.
That was the reason, Warren.
And
Suddenly, the horn is heard again. Octavius, someone's blowing a weird horn outside. To which you then hear a scream.
Are these damn coats done yet?
Yes, this is the last stitch here. There we go.
Octavius will scoop up all 5 coats and say thank you, and he'll just run outside.
All right, you run outside to see, actually, conveniently enough, your 4 friends standing there, or 3 friends, and not so conveniently, a woman and child screaming, and a woman trying to head into, for some reason, a collapsing building. You don't really know what's going on. There's also a huge crater in the middle of the street that you're pretty sure wasn't there last time.
Octavius will throw 3 coats to his friends and take 2 for himself, and who's heading into the busted up building.
All right, the woman's already in there. She's run in at this point. By the time you get there, your heavy armor kind of clanking. You run by. As you do so, give me a quick dex check as you look above, and part of the support wall or the ceiling above you is giving way. You are able to dodge out of the way, even though you're in this heavy armor, to which behind you, this kind of floor gives way and falls down, creating a moderate-sized kind of pile of debris and whatnot. You see the woman run into the main room, which looked like was probably at one point a living room or whatever, but the furniture and everything is destroyed. This entire wall has been taken out, caving in behind you. You see the woman run up to the boulder and drop down to her knees, and she starts tugging at something. It's the arm of someone, but a massive pool of blood is just dripping out from the boulder. You hear her screaming like, no, no, and she just keeps screaming louder and louder and pulling at the arm. You look around and you see that the fireplace on the other side of the building is starting to cave in too. You hear the groaning and creaking of the floor above you as this 2-story building looks like it's going to come down at any moment.
Yeah, my first thought would be to get to the woman, and then just in her hysterity and pull her out of the building while trying to calm her down. Probably not working, but just saying, I have to get you out. It's not safe. It's not safe. And then pulling her out of the building forcibly.
Yep, give me a strength check as she's like resisting and screaming, no, we can't leave him. We got to save him.
Oh, frig off.
This is a tough-ass woman. To which the rest of the party, you see Octavius throw some coats at you, put 2 on, and just very majestically run into a collapsing building, jump out of the way as part of it caves in. But then as you wait expectantly for Octavius to come out, a minute goes by, 2 minutes go by, something's taking too long. You see another part of the building start to cave in as it looks like the top half of this building is going to collapse at any second. Octavius should be out by now. What do you guys do?
I feel like Livy probably wouldn't have even noticed the jacket's being tossed, because as soon as like that woman's going back in to get someone, she's off to a different building trying to help get someone else out of there. Like, oh my goodness, yes, let's try and get people out or figure out a safe place. Like, yeah, she'd be trying.
Yeah, absolutely. And the boulder would have rolled through this house entirely and actually smashed into another one with the force. And you hear screaming coming from another building as it too is starting to topple. As you run inside of this one, you're looking around the main level. You don't see anyone. You see some stairs going up, though, and you hear the crying of a child up there, screaming out for its mother.
And she will run to like the base of the steps, and she is going to try and coax this child, like, jump to me, jump to me, jump to me. Like, I will get you out of here. We'll get to your mother. Just please jump.
You don't actually see the child. The stairs go up and kind of carry on to a hallway, which you can't see fully down. You hear like a kind of smothered crying, as it sounds like they're maybe in a room with the door closed.
Then she's going to attempt acrobatics of any measures to, oh, look at that. She's going to like parkour up those walls and whatnot and figure out how to get herself.
Jump over the collapsing staircase and carry your way up to which you're looking. The first room on the left, nothing. The second room on the right, nothing. You carry on to the third room and you see this child in his room. It's a child no more than like 5 or 6 years old crying for the mother. You don't necessarily see her, but you see the child, and then you hear the grumble of the floor beneath you. It's starting to cave in. The whole entire wall kind of falls in and opens up into the outside. Awesome. You see that the child is kind of sitting there on the ground in front of you. The ground close to it starting to cave in also. With your 26 or whatever, you're able to scoop up the child, but now you're kind of stuck a full story up, and the building is starting to cave in. What do you want to do?
Snowdrifts. There were snowdrifts this morning.
Acrobatics into the snowdrift.
Basically, she, and even if she does horrible on this, like I guess if she does like really, really bad, okay. But chances are, if it's low, that she's going to position herself that the child's gonna be okay, and she'll take whatever accident happens. Oh, cool. 24.
You find a nice snowdrift and you jump into it, saving the child. You hear it screaming, though, that mommy's sleeping upstairs.
Shoot. Okay. And oh goodness, I think.
To which, as you're discussing that, what is Warren and Sunny doing? Octavios darted into one room. The building is starting to collapse now. Literally, columns are breaking away. And if Octavios doesn't come out in like the next 10 seconds, you don't know if he's going to make it. And then also, to make matters worse, Livy just bolted off into another building. To be out of sight, you don't necessarily know where she's gone. We'll start with Warren first. What do you do?
Warren will stand up, look over at Suni. Go ahead up to them. I'll deal with out here. And actually, what I'm going to do is going to be dependent on what he does, so I will let Suni.
All right, Sunlit, you go first.
It's I'm going to use the feline agility ability that I have.
You're fast as heck.
I can double my my speed, so on and so forth. And I'm going to burst into the building where Octavius is, and with unnatural speed.
You burst in and you see that Octavios is pulling at this horrified woman that's grabbing onto an arm underneath the boulder. You see blood pooling from her. He's trying as he might to pull her away, but you can tell that he doesn't want to hurt this fragile woman. So it's kind of like she's giving her all and just completely hysterical, and he's stuck not wanting to like hurt her, but obviously shit's kind of crumbling around him.
Yeah, so we need to get them out, and she's just going to scoop up the woman and move.
All right. So together with you and Octavios, I'll give you an advantage on your athletics check to carry this woman out. Sunlit.
Okay. Athletics isn't really your thing, but we'll try it. Oh, that's not too bad. 19.
The two of you together are more than enough to carry out this woman. She fights and cries her husband's name out as the building, you just barely come out and it kind of crumbles upon itself. 2 stories of brick just falling in from this massive boulder that's just plowed through it and into another building. That puts it on to Warren now. You see Octavius and Sunlit come out with the wife in hand. What do you do?
He'll watch as Suni goes in this building, comes out. As Suni and Octavia step out, you'll notice his feet maybe an inch off the ground as he walks into the center of this road, this clearing area. The snow kind of swirls around his feet a little bit, up and around his body. His hands crackle a little bit. If you notice, a little bit of red seems to be streaking the side of his face, dribbling out of his nose. Going to ready in action to cast Shatter if any other boulders come in.
Absolutely. And it's actually at that moment that you look to the sky and you hear that horn go off again. And as you look, Warren, you do see another boulder hurling through the sky.
So yeah, I'll cast Shatter on that. You can see his body trembles a bit. It's almost like sound waves coming off of his body. Blood is clearly dripping out of his nose, his ears, this energy just crackling up his body. And yeah, I will use action to cast Shatter on that boulder.
Absolutely. And this boulder's coming right at Warren, and it's kind of flying, and he's just standing there, energy crackling around him. You see him glowing with this arcane kind of energy. You just feel the raw, almost electric power. And he's standing there as this boulder is hurling right towards him. And then suddenly he just kind of winces, and then at this point you just feel this energy emanate, and then a loud kind of shattering sound echoes through the entire town, almost like a shockwave, and this boulder that's just heading right towards him breaks into a hundreds of pieces and just kind of shatters around, turns into a little storm of rocks that kind of just like pelt by him, but you can see that he doesn't even seem phased as the energy is just emanating out towards him. The boulder is definitely broken into pieces. As you look and you kind of take a heavy breath, this energy kind of weighing down on you, Warren, you look to the sky and you see another boulder far to the east. You look and you see another boulder far to the west, and another and another and another. Screams are heard as you try, if you might, you can ready another shatter if you want.
I'll ready one only if there's one coming in towards me, but otherwise
I'm coming towards you. Exactly.
Okay.
But, so you realize that you can't stop all these, all six of them coming in, and then as you watch, just kind of standing there ready for anything to come towards you and your group, you just hear these boulders smash through. The sound of boulder on brick, and then the screams and pains, and just chaos fills the town as these six boulders rip through, and you hear crumbling and all of this absolute chaos. You see people start to run to the streets and scream. Sirik comes out from behind you guys and is like, "What the hell is going on? And then what happened to that building?"
Shut up and come. Warren's gonna run where everybody else is running.
What's everybody else doing? Livy, you now have the child in hand. It's crying for its mother, and you start to see this building start to collapse. To go in would be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, she's gonna make that favorable hard choice and just rush the kid off. It's like, don't worry, we'll find her. And she's going to rush this kid
back to the street. You see your friends.
Yeah.
You see Warren emanating energy, which kind of resides for a little bit. Octavius and Sunlit carrying this screaming woman. You put her down to the street. She grabs her son and starts to kind of cry. What do you guys do as Sirik comes out and is just like, what the hell is going on?
Well, Octavius will look to the sky and squint and do his best to see whatever is throwing these boulders.
You do not see... give me a perception check, I guess, actually. Everyone that wants to give a perception check.
Yeah.
Hey guys, there's snow.
The perceptive Sunny.
That's what she is.
So as you look, these six rocks kind of rip through the town. Moments pass by, and then you see another set of them kind of carry through. You don't necessarily see where they're coming from. This 30-foot wall kind of surrounds this entire city, but you can definitely tell that wherever they're coming from is outside of the city limits. So I guess I'll pull up the main map and show you guys. Make shareable, make all links shareable. No, that's not what I want to do. Sharing, share sheet. I don't know if it'll actually show you your tokens or not, but you guys are kind of all gathered right around here. Do you see your tokens?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main south gate where you guys came in is down in this area, which I'm highlighting. And then the rocks seem to be coming, or the boulders seem to be coming from all different areas. You see another couple of guards heading towards the south gate, which is where you guys came in. And then from spending a little bit of time here, you also know that there's a north gate up top in the north, and then an east gate to the east. Up to you guys what you want to do. As you look behind you, you see that as the second set of boulders come through, 19 sunlit lets you count 9 of them. 9 boulders in total.
Do these boulders look familiar to her? Like she's seen them in another town before.
They just look like enormous chunks of mountain, basically.
But okay, so they're not perfectly round like the other ones were, because the ones in King.
Yeah,
whatever.
no, these ones aren't perfect. They literally just look like someone ripped out a side of a mountain and chucked it in. Some of them are a little bit more round. Some of them are more just like natural, like kind of almost cubey shape. And as they hit, they just kind of like tumble over and rip into things. But as each rock lands, another one kind of lands maybe 100, 200 feet away from you into like an urban area. And you just see it smash into a roof of a building, absolutely obliterate it, and then it hits the ground and rolls into another building, smashes through that, smashes into another, just absolutely destroying everything in its path.
We need to take cover. I can throw them under the sky if they get too close. We can't save all these people. We just need to get somewhere.
I understand, but going inside of a building means we can't see where they're coming from.
Not inside, just with cover someplace.
Wanted to make sure. And she certainly has seen the error of her ways a bit from today, and is trying to comfort the woman, and rush her off to where maybe some of the other townsfolk are gathering, and stands beside the man she still doesn't trust, but looks to help in any way she can.
Do we see people run into a certain area or congregating in a certain area?
Guards are running around, like a lot of them seem to be heading towards the different gates. Other packs are gathering people, but there is you can tell instantly that there's no plan for this. Like no one knows what's going on.
Right.
People will run in one direction, then a rock will kind of smash through and block it off, and then the guards try to calm everybody, but as people get bowled over by the rocks and just like burst into blood as it hits them and just absolutely gores them, you can tell that the guards are literally having no calming to these people. No one knows what's going on. It's absolute chaos.
So with that perception that I had, does she can she tell of any type of origin point from this, or do they just seem like coming from many directions?
Yeah, so basically from you to the gate is over roughly 500 plus feet away.
Yeah.
And then the gates themselves are 30 feet tall. So all you see is really far away is big walls.
Okay. No,
and surrounding you is a mountain. So you can't really, you know that they're coming from outside the walls.
But do they seem like they're all coming from one direction?
No, definitely not.
Or do they seem like they're all coming from different directions around the city?
All different directions.
All different. Okay. Yeah. So there's not one place that we could focally go to where the source is coming from.
Yeah, no, sorry. Definitely coming from one comes from the north, west, south, east, southwest.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Another boulder rips through, and as it comes, you guys not really seeing it coming. You don't actually have time to ready a shatter spell, Warren. But luckily, it just rips through and almost hits Livy, but barely misses her. What's up, Livy?
She's looking for cellar doors with that natural 20.
Natural 20.
For those layers.
Yeah, we'll say with a natural 20 that you find a small kind of cellar. Now, big dugout basements aren't necessarily common in this mountainous area because you're literally just digging into rock hard mountain. But you would find a small one for sure. You kick open the door, and it could fit you 4 down if you wanted to hide in it.
She's not wanting to hide. She's looking at the 6-year-old, the mom and child, be like,
Yeah.
get in here now, and she will shut that door and be like, say your prayers, and she'll go off trying to find more people to help and hopefully more cellar doors.
All right. So as you're kind of in the chaos, you see guards running, and a couple of them yell that we're under attack. Get to the gates. We need to get to the walls. Other guards are heading into the center of the town where the marketplace is. You hear them yelling that we need to save people and get them underneath into what cellars we have. So basically up to you guys what you want to do from here.
Yeah, I would certainly be helping with that.
Yep. So gate or walls or into town.
Cellars.
I think we'd try to rush towards the gate.
Yeah, Warren would run with Octavius towards the gate.
Yeah. Livy, we cannot separate. To the gate, Livy.
People need help too.
Livy, you look behind you and see that there's just like families that clearly are in need of help. A boulder is like barreling towards a small family and just like stops inches in front. These rocks are being hurled at a pretty alarming rate. I would say like at least every 2 minutes, another set of rocks is being thrown.
Yeah, Livy's got a hard time separating from the families. She feels like she really ought to be helping find places to put them safely, pointing out cellars and whatnot if she can.
Yeah.
Sirik would look at Livy and say, "She's right. We need to save the families. I'm going with her." To which
and torn between the other two directions.
You guys go to the gates. I'll meet up with you there, but I need to help these people as best I can.
I'm not leaving you, Livy. And she and boys, you go that way. Us girls will go over and we'll help the families.
Octavius would look at Livy and he would say that we will help them. The best way to help them now is to stop the rocks. And then as soon as we stop the rocks, we'll come back and we'll help each and every one of them.
As a point, Livy.
All right. Yeah, she's thinking about that. Just like, okay. And she'll kind of look at him like if she sees like any guards or any like I don't know, or she'll even just like the bystanders and whatnot, those who look capable, just be like, find cellars, go, and we'll like start booking it. Like, let's get to the freaking gates.
Warrendell, a giant boulder is barreling right towards Octavius.
Do I have time to do anything, or
you have time to do something, or else it will hit him for sure? And do something. I mean, shatter might work, or I don't know if you have a different spell, but
yeah.
Basically, he gets hit by a rock, or you spend a spell slot.
All right. In that case, yeah, Warren will. Being Octavius is in heavier armor, maybe run up ahead. But as this huge thing is coming down, I'm just going to use Thunder Wave. It means it has to be within a 15-foot cube of me, so I'm going to wait till the last second to set this off. Just plow into Octavius, trying to knock him to the ground or something, and then as soon as I hit the ground, set this spell off.
So you want to knock Octavius out of the way?
Yes.
All right. Give me a Constitution saving throw then, Octavius.
Yeah.
What's your DC one?
For the Thunderwave?
Yeah. 14 or 15?
I don't know where to find that on here. I want to say 14.
8 plus proficiency plus Spell casting ability modifier.
So 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 8. So what, 17? That sound right?
Could be 16.
Did I just do math
8
terribly?
plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus proficiency 11, 12, 13, 14.
14?
Yeah.
All right, so he just barely makes it, which means he does take half damage. So you're still hitting him with the spell. Roll your damage, but he takes half of it, and luckily doesn't take a massive rock damage.
Yeah.
Octavius, you're blown out of the way by a clap of thunder from Warrendell. It hurts, but as you're blown to the side and kind of pushed across the street into the snowy bank, you look and a rock just bowls past and into another building as it just narrowly misses you. We'll see what damage gets done to you. But I can almost
Of course, I roll good.
half of that. So what is that? Half of 15 is 7.
7.
7 damage, but I can promise you that's a lot less than what you would have taken.
I'd look around to see what exactly happened.
Your ears
Oh,
ringing
Warren.
from like a thunderclap. You look and see that Warren has this energy emanating from, again, his hands are held out, and you just see like almost like a shockwave ripple effect in the snow emanating from him and then pushing out and towards you, and then your body just ripping across the snow and creating this big like trail.
A large grin would come across the face of Octavius as he would get up, smile at Warren, and say, "We're even. Now let's see if we can get more in debt." And he would run towards the wall.
All right. So we got one side going towards the wall. Are you guys going to split up and save some people? As you look behind Livy, I'm going to tell you that it is an absolute massacre. So people are getting absolutely wrecked. To make that even worse. So you go towards the gate with them, and they're already running. So it's up to you to make the choice.
Yeah, she's going to the gate because it's the Octavius is right. It's like, gotta stop the source. We gotta stop the source. We gotta stop the source.
All right, you start running down the main road towards the south gate. As you start to go, everyone give me a dex save. We'll say, and then yikes.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I guess it's not so bad.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Did Warren pass? Warren's the only one that passed. So I'll actually give this to you, Warren, because
I got a 7.
So
Yeah,
another massive rock is heading towards you straight onto everybody. So basically, no one's jumping out of the way. But I imagine you still have spell slots, so Shatter is an effective way. You can't thunderclap everyone out of the way and reliably predict that everyone's going to get out without getting hurt.
And
So it's up to you if you want to spend a slot or your whole
yeah,
party takes rock damage.
yeah, I'll do another shatter.
All right. Give me an Arcana check, though, at this point, because as you're doing rock after rock and kind of emanating all this energy, it might be hard to like break this one. And with that Arcana check, you're easily able to do so, and not even you takes damage as you step forth and kind of run. And then actually, you can describe it if you want, what it looks like, how you destroy the rock and save everybody.
Pretty much the same as before. You can just see the energy crackling up his legs, up his arms, these sound waves emanating off of him. But he's looking worse and worse. You can see his hair starting to get this frosty gray sort of color. Blood dribbling down his nose, from his ears. Even his eyes look like they're bloodshot. A little bit of his goatee's turning white as well. This almost like he doesn't even want to cast these spells anymore, but he's still hanging out for the moment.
All right. You eventually make it to this large outer gate, the south gate that you guys came to, and you remember that the walls themselves 30 feet tall with 2 towers on each side, and then the main kind of entrance gate is this reinforced iron, wooden 15-foot high double door with a big kind of piece of wood latched through like your typical kind of locked shut. As you arrive, you suddenly kind of come to a grinding halt, trying to see what's going on. You see a woman standing on top of the battlements along with Markham Southwell, the sheriff, and a bunch of guards with big, heavy bolted crossbows, and they look readied, and they launch a volley of arrows over the gate. You can't see what they're launching them at. You see that the tower has a door on each side, and as you look inside, the spiral staircase kind of goes up, presumably up towards the battlement where the wall is. As you're standing looking at this iron door, though, you suddenly hear an awful cracking and shattering, splintering sound, and then suddenly it's like some massive force hit the gate itself. It almost broke it in one go. The wooden kind of big plank that's kind of locking it shut, you see starts to crack. You hear a booming voice that sounds way too loud to be any human. It's almost as if you remember Octavios, your high father, using thaumaturgy to yell at all the students, and it makes his voice 3 times louder. This is even louder than this. And the voice, sounding female, I'm not going to yell into your ears and break your eardrums, though, is saying, "Give us Artist Cimber, or we'll destroy the whole city. We know he's in here." To which you see the people on top, this woman and Markham, they're yelling, but you can't necessarily hear what they're saying over all the chaos. What do you guys do? As you approach the iron gates and see that they're splintering, you hear snarls and barking and growling, something feral on the other side. And then along with a language that anyone who speaks giant would understand. And it's basically like a count, like 1, 2, 3, and then boosh, another force hits the wall and almost breaks it.
Yeah, Sunlit speaks giant from hanging out with her, with her giant friend there for so long. So she knows that's happening, and would convey the fact that that's what's that's what's being said.
I believe Octavios also speaks giant. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan.
He does.
So you understand.
Self-taught, actually, books, and wanting to speak it and trying to sound out the letters as he learned. But yeah, he does.
Absolutely. So what do you guys do now that you're at this gate? Like I said, you see the 2 towers. So if you're still looking at the map, you're down in the south west kind of area. And the 2 towers each have staircases that lead up towards the main battlements, one on the western side and one on the southern side. Markham and this girl with dark hair kind of tied back in this like wide, almost ponytail-like thing are on the western side. So you'd have to go into the left tower to get to them. And then on the right, it's a bunch of guards wielding heavy crossbows.
Sunlight would definitely go towards Markham.
All right. I'm assuming everyone follows unless they say otherwise. As you kind of climb up this set of staircases, spiraling around up the tower, the icy cold kind of wind no longer really bothering you as the adrenaline is now cooked in, but you can just feel absolute numbness of your body. The cool kind of shutting you down. Even through the adrenaline becomes apparent that maybe you want to put on your coat soon, or else the weather is going to factor in the combat, which you got these sweet ass Yeti coats that you're all kind of carrying around. Octavios has 2. As you get to the top, you see an absolute panicked looking Markham as he readies a crossbow. You can see that he's trying to look calm through it all, but you just see in his eyes that like he is not ready for this. And he looks to you and says that we're under attack by giants. And he points. And down below the southern gate, you see... Actually, I didn't have this part ready. Give me a second here. You see... Southern gate. 3 frost giants, which I will show you a picture of. 2 that look like this. So these massive, long, snowy beards. This creature stands 17 feet tall. And they both wield these great giant axes that are the size of like a small building. And behind them with the booming voice is this female frost giant that has all these skulls lined around her belt and this massive, what looks like dragon skull on her head. And below them, these giant icy looking wolves that are even large themselves. So picture what a big kind of bull mastiff dog would look like to us. These wolves look like that to the giants. So even these wolves are like larger than you. They're large sized creatures. And the two giants have this massive battering ram that they are smashing into the gate. And the two wolves eagerly wait, kind of snarling. Duvessa, the town speaker, who is the woman, I guess she wouldn't have introduced herself, but we'll just say that you can presume that that's who it is. She would look over and say that they're asking for an artist Simber, but he hasn't been here in years. Don't know what to do. They say he's in here. I've tried to tell them, but they won't stop. They're destroying the town. We got to do something. To which the guards release another volley of arrows into the giants. They don't even seem fazed by it. Being 2:20 a.m. though, I think that's probably a good time to stop it. So we will end this session, and next time we pick up, we will presume the attack on Bryn Sander. So thanks for playing, guys. I'll talk to you after the chat. We'll schedule, and until next time, peace out.
Hi, guys.